Hello! We're back, chat! Ah! I almost died there. After so very long... Oh, I don't remember, but this was supposed to be. There we go. After so very long, we have returned to Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring! Oh, wait, right. Don't want it always on. We go to auto here. There we go. Everything's right in the world now. Anyway, yep, it's been a bit of a while since I played this game, so forgive me while I, especially for VOD viewers, while I get myself acquainted with the controls again. I think muscle memory's done its part, but you never know. Woo! And now, for those that haven't heard yet, now that I own a PS5, I've been playing a bit of Bloodborne when I haven't been streaming these past couple days. Partially unintentionally, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. Not completely my intention to just kind of like passive streaming for so long on so many games. Not just with Elden Ring, but just in general. The day before yesterday, it was just like a bunch of stuff came up. I was like, okay, I guess I'm not streaming. I'll be better to do it on Monday anyway. But then when Monday came around, had some technical difficulties, which I didn't figure out until I was like, okay, I already like wasted a lot of my stream time, so may as well like just save it for today. And then today I almost didn't do it because, well, my neck's been killing me today. But that just tells me I need to get my new chair, like, ASAP. Need to give myself a belated Christmas present, that's for sure. Hey, it's still 12 days of Christmas, it counts. Anyway. Lindell, capital of cheese. Hey, Adolphus, yeah. I can't wait to see all that gold that's behind those walls. Oh, it's already looking pretty damn bright over here. Hey, Vens, good to see ya. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I don't remember what we were doing. We did a cave. I left that. Huh. What do you guys say, buddy? All right. There. It's triangle. Oh, tree. Great tree. The Golden Order itself, unwavering, stretched to the sky. Confer your guidance to our Elden Lord to put this weary world to rights. Okay. Let's see how I feel about that. Ah, there we go. Yep, favorite spell. Nothing like just casually doing this. There we go. Though I still can't aim for shit on this horse. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, let's go this way. You have got to be kidding me. When did you get here, buddy?
Hawk the seamster, at your service, master.
Oh, I like that.
Ready to make adjustments to your garments.
I'm sure you have somehow launched so many fanfics. I just got that feeling. America? I'm sure she's got a couple. I'm sure Radigan and Godric, I'm sure Godfrey and Godric have like tons for whatever reason. But you, so I get the feeling you're where all the degenerates love to write stories about. I mean, your whole thing is about clothes, so taking them off can't be that hard. Nothing really I want to do this for, though. You're kind of useless to me, to be honest.
Going so soon?
Yeah, sorry.
Please do be safe.
Listen, this isn't anything about your ugliness. I know you got an insecurity and all that. You're just kind of worthless. Alright, moving right along. Yep. That seems about right. Oh. Gotcha, so that's the link. Okay. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Did you see that? I saw that. That is bullshit. Just want to leave that out there. Alright. Oh, no lightning? Okay. Works for me. God, getting used to these controls feels so weird. I've played so many different Souls games lately. It's like all my muscle memory is mixed up. I seem to remember how to mount my horse pretty naturally, but everything else, it's like, what the hell am I doing? See, I just jumped instead of picking this up. Ay, ay, ay. Lol, imagine trying to become Elden Lord. I get the feeling that no one does the Elden Lord ending. I've been worked all day on restoring the cut Demon Souls tutorial. You'd not believe how complicated they made ladders for no reason, lol. How? It's ladders. How difficult could that possibly be? Ow. Ow. I see. You guys were prepared for me. Uh-huh. Right. Okay, I'm sorry. I guess I'll just die now. I actually want to hear about this then. It's like, how could they possibly make this so bad? Bach Wattpad fanfiction is a dangerous notion. Oh, right. Alright, let's go here. Bach the Seamster. Ay, ay, ay. All I have to say, though, then, is you did the, what's it called? The gender locked armor fix, and it was like, oh my god, thank you. Again, I wish that was like something you could get in the remake somehow. Speaking of, now that I have a PS5, I can actually play the remake. That's gonna be fun. That's probably gonna be the lore play after Dark Souls, to be honest. Like, I'm probably gonna do like Elden Ring or Bloodborne off days, and then Demon Souls after Dark Souls for on days on that. And then who knows, I might do a lore play for Bloodborne at some point after the Let's Play. Sort of depends. My current playthrough of BB is going interesting. I'm going full arcane build. Which, I will say that, it's expensive, but it is fun when you just lob a bunch of, oil urns and, what do they call it? Molotovs at beasts, and they just kind of die in, like, a few hits. That is funny. Hello, buddy. I've already been here. Okay. I see. Oh, I can't jump at that. Got it. There we go. There we go. I'm like, I know I can switch weapons. Somehow. Yeah, I don't need to use my sorcery on all these mooks. You are beneath me, you subhuman cretins. Oh, yes. I'm doing my best, what's his name? Oh, you know, Pitia. I don't remember what his doll is called, but you know, it's Pitia. My best Pitia impression. There we go. Sam, I'm going between Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring. It's been a wild ride. I'll send you an example in your server later. Oh my god, let me see this then. I want to see the hilarity. Oh, look! I vaguely recall this. Still mining, huh? So here's the question. How long have these been in here before they decided to mine it? Because it doesn't look like it's been that long. But Radahn's apparently been holding the stars back for super long. So there is a question of how much this stuff has been happening while Radahn has been the Star Scourge, as it were. Or is the Star Scourge event super recent relative to when we arrive? Yep, that's a gravity stone. Yep. In Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, ladder events are a single line. Demon Souls, it's at least 80 lines of code! Why? Why? That does sound so needlessly complicated. This makes me wonder when Santa does stuff like Demon Souls, like ladder climbing without ladders, like, how complicated is that then? Just be able to, like, randomly make yourself climb at any point in the game to get to higher elevations with no gravity? Actually curious. I am looking forward to the Demon Souls lore through. Yeah, that's gonna be fun because the lore play for Dark Souls has been it's a little more exhausting because of how big the game is, but it's been fun, right? Like it's not as big as Dark Souls 3, of course, right? And I felt pretty comfortable during Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 1's been pretty smooth though overall, and it's been great having you guys, getting lots of interactions and commentaries and questions and things of that sort. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Demon's Souls is going to just be nice just to have something super short, super simple, super comfy, I think, by comparison to everything else I've done. Shrine of Storms, Latria, and Inner are going to be lit. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's also going to be nice because I get to comment on the remake. Because, again, I feel like I probably come off as negative, like, when it comes to, like, my commentary, but it's usually because when it comes up, like, I don't get to, like, herald all the good stuff about the remake as much, but I'm pretty neutral as far as, like, my overall feelings on the remake is. Like, it's about what I expected. It has a lot of things I like, a lot of things I don't like, and, like, it just sort of, like, kind of balances out, as it were. In terms of art, let's see, original Demon Souls better, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree. In terms of, like, graphical fidelity, obviously not, but in terms of just, art direction, art style, designs, I would say definitely for sure. And boy, do I have a lot to say on that front, but, well, I guess we'll wait for the lore play. In terms of art direction for sure, but I do prefer the music and overall visuals of the new. Oh, I disagree. I hate the new music. Most of the songs you can't even tell what they were anymore, and they sound all... They suffer from Bloodborne-itis, same as Dark Souls 3. Everything has to be this giant orchestral choir, and it just makes everything sound samey. It's so hard to find good tracks that really stand out. They even made an Astraeus track, honestly. It doesn't sound as good. It sounds like something you go when you're listening for, at a, like, a concert for Demon Souls, not for the actual Demon Souls game. But again, that's just me. The clarity more so. The remake has some nice quality of life changes. Yeah, though I'm not sure if I'm sold on all of them. Like, some of the stuff with the, like, how they handled the Band-Aid fix for the storage unit with Stockpile Thomas, I'm not sure if I quite like. It just sort of is awkward the way it does. I think it ruins the gameplay loop, honestly, on just, like, my personal, on my personal perspective. But hey, I've never played Demon Souls before, so I guess we'll see. I don't know, it's gonna depend. I might end up doing a thing where, like, whenever I start having stuff going to storage, I return and drop my stuff off manually. Might just do that, just try to simulate the original game in that regard. Demon Souls is my favorite Souls game. Hey, John Kick, good to see ya. I can imagine. In debug, you can change your backstep animation to anything, so you can make it a ladder climbing animation. I personally use a fog wall animation a lot. I see. The fog wall animation lets you get through collision and stuff, right? I assume that's how it works. I also hate the new music. It's confidently... confident... I assume you mean competently made. It just doesn't make sense for Demon Souls. Yeah, I think technically it's all good, right? Like, it's good stuff in terms of, like, a technical music front, but, like, so many of the songs I feel get lost in their attempt to redo them that you can't even hear the original melody. Like, it just doesn't sound like those songs. Like, compare, like, a great example of this. Compare, the original, Old Hero, boss theme to the remakes. Like, it's night and day. You can't even tell which are the... You can't even tell, where the original tune plays into that one. It's like... Gosh, it's just loud orchestra. It's weird for me that they changed the art style. In my opinion, remake should be art restoration rather than actually changing the art. I agree with you there. There was no reason to change the designs for so many of the bosses the way they did. And there's a story behind that. I won't say it publicly, but, like, let's just know that. Just know that, yeah, there was a lot going on there. It's quite the tale. Yeah, it's a little weird. There's a statue of an ambitious king in Duran's tomb meant to represent him, even though the two are entirely different people separated by centuries. Yeah, they kind of just were like, look at this statue of a giant knight with crazy, wild, long hair. Let's just change that to the guy on the Archstone. Again, it's beautiful. It's graphically amazing. It looks great. Like, I love it in general and how they made it on a technical level. But artistically and lore-wise, I cringe. Alright, I've run around, I've confirmed I've killed all the bosses there, so there's just basically the stuff over there, which you know what that means, we're going this way. I mean, I should probably listen to what my thing is here. If it's telling me, hey, I haven't been here. I haven't been, I could, yeah, here. Let's go there. The statue in Duran's tomb is a better version of the old hero they added armor to and made into a statue. Yeah, I've seen the cut content for the old hero thing. I actually find that so hilarious. Do you know what armor set they use? Because I didn't confirm. Is that fluted set or is that something else then? Do you know? I find it funny because they were like, we have this like barbarian hero character that we're not going to use. So instead, let's use instead reuse it for the barbarian hero king who established Boletaria. Like, it's very funny how that all works out. Well, how do we establish the whole knight and gallantry aspect? We'll just put some knight armor on him. Even though it looks nothing like Duran's armor set. Again, the remake could have definitely changed things and made it work. It's just the way they did it did it. Now, I'm not saying they should have hired Loki and had him be there to help them with the art direction. I doubt I was even on their radar when this thing was being made. But, if you're going to hire the original localization, apparently aware that they did such a bad job and they would need to come back to fix things, then you should probably be more careful with what you're basing off that original localized script. Especially with the fan theories that come attached to it that they clearly had an ear on. There we go. Speaking of the remake version, my bad. I can't look right now, but it's either the fluted or the plate set. Yeah, it has to be one of those two, right? Because it looks like very stock standard armor. But I've never actually confirmed which armor set it is. Hey, Juris? Can you tell me how I pronounce that? Sorry. Hello, good day to you. Good to see you. Very nice to have you in. I think this is your first time here. At least I don't remember you being here last time, but maybe you've just been lurking and I just haven't noticed. The vibe in the prison place is weird compared to the original. I'll see for myself. I'm probably gonna mess with the color and art settings to get a little bit closer to the original in terms of color palette and atmosphere in that regard. I don't like the default, as it were. I definitely prefer. I remember one of the filters looking pretty decent, so we'll try that. Ooh, what's here? This is the conspiracy one, right? Yeah. But why at this church? Or is this just a battle that took place afterwards? Right, because it has to do with the first defense of Lindell. That was the one with Godfroy, right? So, And there's a Church of America that was built here. I wonder if this is supposed to be the burials then of all those who died as part of that first defense. My countrymen, as it were. I think we cleared that. Bridge of Iniquity, huh? I mean, we still got all of this north section that we haven't really explored. There's Brother Corin, the clergyman, the prophet. Yeah, we don't care for you. I'm not even gonna bother killing dogs. Oh. Well, this is awkward. God, golden fauna. You can tell the Erd Tree definitely exerts an influence. So, most of the lands between seem to just get like a mild influence of the Erd Tree's effects, it seems. But here, the gold is so strong that everything is basically turned to gold. Even the rocks have some gold tinges to it. So it's like radiation being absorbed. Pretty neat. I will go this way. I'm hearing a noise. I've been lucky enough to talk to people who've worked on the remake art-wise. From the people I've talked to, they've always described the higher-ups leading art direction, feeling like they ran out of space, understood what feeling like they understood what FromSoft was trying to do, almost feeling like they understood the designs better than From. I understand. Because I thought you were missing something, but no. Okay, I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, like I said, I have stories I can share, but for the sake of people's privacy, I will not say anything more. Yeah, I will say this then, so that sounds about like about what I heard. Let's do this. I don't care about the wolves either. Oh. Hey, buddies. You guys will literally investigate any corner, huh? There aren't even ruins here. What could you possibly be looking for? Here's one more church nearby. Yep, there's one more church. There's always another Church of America or Radigan. Oh, whoopsie, right. You're not what I wanted. That guy's like, dude, overkill. What are you doing? No, get back here. Give me your treasure. Yes, golden runes. So that's what you're collecting here, huh? Runes from the earth. That makes sense. Anyway. Which led to some pretty bad designs. Not art-wise, it's good work, but if you looked at the concept art for the skeletons in Shrine of Storms, you wouldn't be able to know what it is. Yeah, the actual, like, concept art and stuff, like, again, technically, great stuff. Same with the graphics team and all that, but it's very clear that who was in charge of the art team should not have been in charge of the art. Especially, and I will say this forever, if the height of we can do better than FromSoft is we're gonna make everything look like the most generic Hollywood schlock that's ever come out of the American mind. Like, you're making me embarrassed for my country's culture. Like, really? This is the best you can come up with in terms of creativity? Everything looks like it's Doom? Like, geez, it's called Demon Souls. Doesn't mean you have to literally make it look like every fucking demon game that's ever come out. Like, goddamn. Have some respect for the original inspiration. Loki, as one of the Souls guys, gotta ask, you've seen a great many figures in these games, some horrifying, others kinky. As of this game, who's been the most interesting character for you? Ooh. That's interesting to think about. Who's the character that's interested me the most in my playthrough so far? Moog, however you're supposed to pronounce that. That one's been rather interesting so far. Margit/Morgoth's been interesting so far. Like, definitely the Omens have a lot going for them that makes me like, ooh, I want to know more about them. I want to see more of, like, where they live, what their life's been like, stuff like that, right? Oh. I'm trying to think, is there, like, anything else like I'm really like, woo! I really can't wait to learn about them. Nothing comes to mind. I almost feel that way about Godskins, but, like, they're such a pain in the butt. Woo! Like, for my other playthrough, not really for this one too much, but, like, just no. That I just kind of am like, I don't care about your Glow-My Queen. I'm glad she's dead. Don't need a whole army of you united against me. What are you practicing up here for, buddy? I played New Demon Souls and then Dark Souls. Graphic design, facepalm, the feeling of Undead Burg. That visual is something unique. I agree. I heard someone says the Demon Souls remake kind of looks like Shrek's art style. Get out of my swamp! Get out of my fog! Someone needs to contact King Alon's VA and just have him do that, get out of my fog line. Like, just get, like, I don't know, get it on TikTok or some shit. That will, like, get you 1 million views. What the hell is this? Right? Oh, I get it. You're crawling carry-on. So the term crawl is used to mean, is translated as ride here. Which, again, is fine. That's an accurate translation. No issues there. And then I'm assuming that the idea being is that these things are just blood. Yeah, that looks, pretty accurate. Yeah, that's a lot of red on that black there, huh? This is crawling carry-on with blood. They literally just took Aldrich's, crawling carry-on with, like, the maggots and stuff. They were like, should we make it more, like, fleshy colored? Nah, we'll make a blood version, which has, like, some red in it, though. Look at all that. It's got wings and stuff. I wonder how consistent that is, or if that's unique to this one. No, probably not, because I think the originals had those types of, feathers, too, right? So... Oh, boy. This is gonna take a while. I guess we'll have to see what my skill can do to that. OMG, that's not entirely wrong. Yep, it's not. New Demon Souls is more like Elden Ring, but Dark Souls and Demon Souls give a feeling of place that visually is real, not hyper-real. New game makes visuality hyper-real. I agree. I get what you're trying to say. Elden Ring definitely leans more into the high fantasy, right? It's so much more colorful and bright. It just feels like a more fantastical place compared to Dark Souls and Demon Souls, which feel relatively more grounded, right? Like, I talked about this on Twitter, because Smotown was making a comment about the design. Oh my god, it's a giant one of you. Yeah, that's blood, alright. That's definitely blood. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, dearest God. You're gonna take a while, huh? I hope you actually have something I want. Oh, no. Okay. Oh. Oh. What? I should have expected more of you blood dogs. Man, Moog, speaking of Moog, he's got his influence here. There we go. Alright. I didn't want to use that. That ruined my day. Okay. Should have charged you. Oh. 1 second, Mr. Giant Crawling Carrier. Or I should say crawling blood. Writhing blood. Rife blood. You know what, we'll call you Rife blood. Now Mr. Rife blood, or Mrs. Rife blood. It's hard to tell. I'm sure there's both in there. Oh, okay. Oh! They're happy?! Ooh. Alrighty. Wait, are you spawning these? Are they coming out of you? Alright, listen, I wouldn't normally do this for just an ordinary enemy, but you are a pain in my ass, so, you know, first we're gonna do this, then we're gonna pop this, and then we're gonna do this. There we go! There we go. Sacramental blood! Oh, bud. Uh-huh. Wait. That's weird. Sacramental blood from Rife blood. Isn't that from the strains of buds from a youthful sacramental blood? Oh! Uh-huh! So these were created using, so Moog is using, what's his name? Miquella's blood. Huh. God, you know it's been such a long time that I don't even remember character names anymore. It's like, oh no. What are all these characters called? Okay, it's G.R.R. Martin, right? So G's, R's, and M's. I meant old Demon Souls and vanilla Dark Souls. New Demon Souls is more like Elden Ring. Yeah, I guess what you're saying. More like a bunch of rotting corpses. Hey, Xavier, I don't know. Livingston. I'll call you Livingston. Adolphus. Honestly, my first Souls game was the remake, then Sekiro, then Elden Ring, and then Dark Souls and Bloodborne. I'm enjoying Bloodborne very much so far. more than Sekiro, not gonna lie. I'll be more so than Sekiro. Let's see. The thing with Sekiro is that... Oh no, I think I just looted these. Okay, that doesn't matter. Actually, it is curious that these are growing here, though, in these ruins. So I better keep my eye out to see how common they are compared to other places on this plateau. Because it might still be indicative of where this blood came from, if these are growing here. Very curious. Anyway, as I was saying, I don't consider Sekiro as a Souls game, as it were. I personally do not like the title of Souls game as is, though I understand why it exists. Especially considering, like, again, same with Soulsborne or whatever. Like, I always found it silly when people kept on trying to add on things. Because now what is it going to be? Soulsborne, Shadows Die Twice ring or some crap? Like, it's like, it's too much. Okay, so, I popped my thing already, but that doesn't mean anything. There we go. Now I can do that. I don't consider it that way. Like, it doesn't even, like, at least Bloodborne, you can argue, still has the basics of a Souls title as RPG and stuff, even though it's obviously, it's still, it's very different from other games, but it still has that Souls DNA closer to the core. What does Sekiro have in common? Health bars and checkpoint system. That's about it, as far as I can tell. Even their storytelling style is a bit different. Oh. Sekiro, let's see. No, that thing from Demon Souls Phalanx has some with it. I feel like I've lost the plot here. Moog is kind of gross, not gonna lie. That's very true. Very sus. Xavier. Got it, it's Xavier. Still gonna call you Livingston because I don't know, I really love that name. Sickle's-born ring. Sickle's-born ring. You're making me laugh a lot today, John Kick. Johnny boy! The Golden Lineage really is full of the best and worst people. On one hand, you got Godfrey, Godwyn, and Morgoth. On the other hand, you got Mo, Godfrey, and Godric. I'll be honest, I don't know which is which in that list. Good, kingly, nice guys, and then just gross people. I've never played Sekiro. It just doesn't interest me. Same here. I was like kind of hyped for it early on. I did some research stuff in case Vati wanted me for like lore commentary and stuff like that. But I ultimately said, you know what? I'm not hyped enough for this that I really want to play it. Again, like historical games, I don't know. They have to be a certain breed in order to really interest me. Let's see. Wait, I see a sign. Am I crazy? Oh. 1 second. Oh. Thank you. Use Festering Bloody Finger and invade Magnus the Beast. Wait, what? Okay. Also, those noises again. Oh boy, is that coming from in here? Oh boy. Ah, fuck it, why not? I enjoyed it, to be honest. Felt very different, to be honest. That's a lot to be honest there, Adolphus. Don't need to cope that hard in order to defend it. Well, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with Sekiro as a game. I'm just saying, I don't consider it a Souls game, and I just ultimately didn't have enough interest in the narrative to want to play it. Because, if you guys haven't noticed, my main thing is narratives and lore and stuff like that. That's what really gets me interested when I play a game. Or a visual novel, or whatever it is. Well. Huh. Oh, gosh. You are a pain in the ass. Oh. So what I want to do is I want to shoot Comet as soon as he starts using his spell, because that seems to be the trick. Coolio. I'm a funny guy. Yes, you are. Which makes sense with its intent. Yeah, it's supposed to be different, and it's fine. I don't think every FromSoft game should be the same. Like, I'm excited for Armored Core, and when I hear, oh yeah, it's going to be totally different. Now, again, we'll wait and see. Like I said, I'm still expecting Bloodborne with rocket boosters. I definitely think that there may be more Souls DNA in there than they're letting on. We'll see when the gameplay is there, but I fully expect we're going to see a lot of Souls design principles sort of seeping their way into there. And they'll be like, oh, we weren't actively trying to be like a Souls game, but, you know, we just took all the principles and stuff we learned from all those games. Because I don't think they would advertise it that way unless they were, at the very least, there was something there for them, the advertisers, to latch on to. Dark Souls 3, especially if you played Dark Souls 1. I agree. I think Dark Souls 3 is the best a Dark Souls sequel could be, as far as narrative is at least concerned. There we go. Yep, that's the trick. And he's dead. Yeah, holding it for maximum to see if he'll do, like, jump attacks or something was definitely the right call. Woo! I'll be honest, I don't know why I did that. I don't know what the point of that invasion was. I hope I didn't, like, piss off Garank or something. Vare is such an Omen simp, I can imagine. Let's see. I really need to play Dark Souls 3, never played it. Help but by friend kill Vort, and now I wanna, but it, ooh. It's fine. Oh, I got some stuff. Great stars. What's this? Big hammer? Big hammer. Big smashy smash. Oh my. There we go. Oh, I already got this. Oh, okay. I already have this. A bloodstained stars of an ill omen. A fact not lost upon those against the weapon is brought to bear. Land the attack slightly. Oh, so this is just... I guess this idea is just that, hey, there's a bunch of Moog people here. Okay. We're getting lots of sacramental blood, so I'm getting the feeling that this may be the shtick. Alright, well, found the entrance to these ruins. God, when do I unlock my 4th slot? Damn it. Okay. What are my chances? Alright, we're gonna read chat and then we'll do this. Oh, it's the offline way to do Vare's quest. Oh, is that so? You do that and then it gives you everything you need? I see. That makes sense. I just beat Sekiro. It was awesome. Oh, cool. I really need... Dark Souls 3 is very good. Yeah. I played a decent bit of it, but friend on my own. The story's hella cool thus far. Some wicked dark fantasy. Yeah, Dark Souls 3... Dark Souls 3 is, again, probably the best way you could kind of send off the series, I think. Especially now that I've done a proper analysis of Dark Souls 2 for the most part. I'm obviously still coming out with Sholva and Ilium Lois and some bigger topics, but, like, for the most part, I've covered the game, and obviously, though I haven't written those analyses, I already have all my conclusions for all the big stuff there. Anyway, my point is that, after doing both Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 between Abyssal Archive and, who knows, maybe Abyssal Archive 2 in the future, I think that Dark Souls 3, Miyazaki did the best possible way in order to bring both of those games together and give the series a proper send-off. So I'm very happy with how it is. Just the world... All I wanted from a Dark Souls sequel, if we were going to get one, if we had to get one, because again, as I've said, Dark Souls should never have gotten sequels. It didn't need it. And it honestly... its narrative was complete as it was. As Abyssal Archive illustrates, but this is not a Dark Souls lore play, so I won't grift. Just check my website and maybe consider buying my book. Anyway, I consider Dark Souls 3 to be just the best way that they could have brought it all together and be like, hey, here's all the plot threads and character questions you might have from the first game that you wanted answer, and here's some new stuff with the world building, taking things to the logical conclusion in terms of how all this shit works. Like, it's just, I loved it. Let's see. Problems of hypervisuality was described by Lev Manovich in his book, The Language of New Media, 2001. One of his main theses was hyperreality slowly will kill representation of real. I think I agree. One problem I think, and this is again, this isn't really a criticism of Dark Souls 3, but it's just sort of like a mild critique, I should say. Is that Dark Souls 3's pivot toward the less of the artistic, cartoony look that was in Dark Souls 1, and more towards the realism style that we see in like Dark Souls 3, to some extent Sekiro and things like that. I feel like some of that is making FromSoft's games starting to look a little less artistically stand out. Compared to, say, Elden Ring. Elden Ring stands out because of its color palette. It really does, again, because of how fantastical and surreal everything is. It really does stand out in that regard. But if you make a comparison to, like, say, Dark Souls 3 or something like that, Dark Souls 3 works because of the tone it's going for, but it definitely feels like it's one of those games that in like 10 years, it'll probably age worse compared to something like Dark Souls. And you can see in the designs, right? A lot of Dark Souls 3's designs are a lot less, have less of that grounded fantasy that you see in Dark Souls 1, right? Like I was saying on Twitter with Smotown's comments, stuff like that. Dark Souls 1, it just has this very unique design thing to it that has never really been matched by FromSoft. There's just something about it. Demon Souls, obviously, so much stuff was being reused and stuff that there's some really good designs, but there's also just kind of, just like normal, like, okay, those exist designs. Dark Souls has a really high quality, like, kind of like, wow. Like, even some of their basic stuff like knights and things like that just look so inspired and classic and iconic. You don't really see that as much with Dark Souls 3. You have some natural progressions, right? Like, say, Crystal Sages, for example. But you wouldn't really say the Crystal Sage design is inspired. It's about what you'd expect with the concept of apprentices or successors to Logan, right? I hate typing, not gonna lie. Wish I could just project my thing. I wonder what boss was here. I agree on what you're saying about Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 is a bit ugly at times with all the gray coloring. I wouldn't say it's ugly with the gray coloring, but I've always said this. Dark Souls 2 looks too dry, Dark Souls 3 looks too wet. I don't know why, but everything in Dark Souls 3 has this weird shine to it that makes everything have this varnish look. And I don't understand why they went that direction. Again, it's not really a criticism of the art style. Again, Dark Souls 3 still looks great, especially compared to Dark Souls 2 in terms of graphical quality and all that stuff. But I'm just saying, artistically, I have to make a mild critique in that regard, and that Dark Souls 1 definitely feels like the more artistically inspired game. Alright, let's see what I got. Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay, so probably not going to be able to do much. Oh. Yep. Listen, Mr. Mosquito. Calm down. Okay, you're going to be simple, though. You're like the mini-boss. Oh. I didn't realize that you had that, for so long there. There we go. And assassinated. Woo! I still love the spell. Woo! Enemy felled, guys! That was so difficult! Ay, ay, what was I worried for? It's Elden Ring. As far as BB didn't win as Demon Souls 2 Project Beast, we got a new good game instead of some not so good or Mini-Mo. Yeah, Mini-Moke. Yeah, I'm glad that we didn't get a Demon Souls 2 with Bloodborne. I like Bloodborne as Bloodborne. Again, there's nothing wrong with the Demon Souls 2 as a concept. It just, the game doesn't really need a sequel. It told its story, and it's more or less complete. Again, people will always clamor for more on Northern Limit and stuff like that, but I think that ship has sailed. The lore for Northern Limit was more or less decided in the final game, despite the cut content. And it's enough that you get a decent idea, and with cut content, obviously, you can really kind of flesh that out a bit more, but, like, it's not, like, necessary for the narrative of the game or anything. Again, I feel like if they do a Demon Souls 2, it would be much like Dark Souls 3, where it's just so you can expand on the lore, the concepts, maybe go a little farther on some ideas. But I feel if they really need to justify a sequel, they need to really go, like, do something radically different. And I don't know how radically different they're going to want to go with, hey, someone woke up the old one, fog has appeared, demons are now invading. Well, we do all this again. Maybe a prequel could work if you do set it during the Monumental era, because then you could add all like all the advances to magic or the soul arts, quote unquote, into the new sorceries and stuff that Elden Ring adds and crap like that. I think that could work. Oh. Oh, let's see. There we go. Oh, what are you? So I get ambushed by two sides, huh? Sounds about right. I swear I hate torch people. At least they didn't knock me down, though. Where were you hiding, buddy? Oh. What's wrong there, buddy? You lost a friend? Huh. I never went to this castle. Maybe I should do that. Go. Gravelstone, huh? A dragon? Maybe? So there's Mount Gelmir. Nothing there. Though then again, this could all just be low res, and there's lots of shit here that I'm not seeing. Knowing how this game is. Also, I'm just gonna point this out here. Who built your castle in the middle of a bunch of rocky mountain parts sticking out? Just leaving that out there. Also, it looks like the buildings are half sunk into the ground. Actually, now that I look at it, half of the walls look like they're half sunk into the ground. What is going on here? Swamp. So much swamp. Oh, no. So there's, like, the boss building or whatever. So I imagine our idea is to go here, go there, and there's the boss. Also, you got a tree growing inside your roof. Might want to get that renovated. Just pointing that out there. Doing my due diligence as a wandering sorcerer. Helping the random folk. Oh. Aww! Our escort buddy! I think the idea here is that he built this grave. Like, obviously it's the same grave they use for all the Golden Order burials and all that stuff. But, I assume that's just copy-pasting assets like so much in this game. But I think the idea is that this guy built a grave because I think his troll friend, or at least one of them, who was pulling these carts, for whatever reason got derailed. And is no longer a thing. So it's like, aw, he built a grave and was like, I won't leave my friend. He's like that dog who lost its owner and just won't leave the grave no matter what. That's sweet. That's sweet. And I killed him. Smile. There we go. Sorry, coming through. Very important business, you see. Yes, oh. Hey, that's a lot of my blood you just sprayed on that golden floor there. Or meet the figures on the archstones. Even for my first playthrough, I'd already wanted to see those people. Although they thought they were going to be Nosses, not gonna lie. Yeah, that does feel like it when you see like the archstones and stuff. You're like, oh, they're gonna be like they're gonna be like brought back as demons or something. But I'm actually surprised. I guess I'm not totally surprised. I'm sure part of it was due to constraints with assets and things like that. But I'm actually somewhat surprised that Miyazaki had the restraint to be like, okay, I'm gonna talk about all these characters in history, and they're just gonna be history. I hate you guys. I want you to know. You and your stupid shields. Just remember BF from DS Vanilla? BF. I'll be honest, I'm trying to think. Who's BF? Bed of... No, not Bed of Chaos. Yeah, nope. That abbreviation does nothing for me, I'm sorry. Or how color palette changing by moving from place to place. No new FromSoft games have that. That's very true. Dark Souls, it was very noticeable. I wish the transition was more natural, but there was definitely, there's definitely a feeling where when you entered someplace, oh yeah, this had a certain color and look to it. One of my problems with Far On Swamp is you look at the concept art and everything is so green, but then you look at the Far On Swamp in-game, and the green is so muted. And this is where I think John Kick made a good point. It looks almost gray. Now, it isn't that gray, especially compared to when the Eclipse comes out. When you get the Eclipse, then Far On Swamp literally does become gray, and it's like, ill, it's ugly. Why would you do this? At least let it have a little bit of that green tint, but like, I don't know what they did there. Oh, there we go. Where are my runes? Ah, all the way over there. We're going back to more orange and reds, huh? I guess because the idea is this area is at a lower altitude, so it doesn't get the same level of energy from the Erd Tree. So while it gets a lot, it doesn't get enough to make it really golden, maybe. Although red is more so primal power of the Erd Tree, right? So maybe it's the opposite. Maybe this area has been able to maintain. Oh, what the hell? Oh, the worm faces. I see. I see. Well, I'm just gonna be passing through here. Don't mind me, gentlemen. Oh, I see. That's where all these sounds are. Oh, no. This is disgusting. Whoa, 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 whoa. I hear something. I'm just gonna be right around here and leaving. I want to read chat, but apparently I can't do that. Swamp in a castle, baby! Or I can if I just hope I don't run into enemies. Oh boy. If I remember, that place has some pretty cool lore, not super important. Hey, cool lore is cool lore. I'll check it. Can't wait to see what the castle's got in store. Which ruins are those? That's the Wraithblood ruins. So there was a settlement here, which makes sense, right? Because it's on the way to, Gelmir, yeah, Mount Gelmir. So Volcano Manor and stuff. So you want to have a settlement outside right before where the bridge is. So that makes sense. It goes here. There's this big bridge here, which connects to, looks like an extensive settlement here. Oh, is this Crazy Skin Ladies? I bet you it's Crazy Skin Ladies. I remember, that map looks like windmills, and I remember windmills being a thing, in like item descriptions or something I read. This bridge broke though. It might ooh, this bridge. It might predate the Erd Tree Order. Well, isn't that interesting? Yeah, look at those windmills. Man, it's a misty morning, huh? Adolphus, are we meeting a few of them? Oh, we're talking about the Archstone leaders? We don't meet any of the characters. They're all long dead. Even, like, the Queen of Latria isn't the same queen mentioned in the Archstone. She's from years before that. Most of the demon bosses we fight are incarnations of either figures that were believed in by the pagan religions or combinations with the existing wildlife. And then there's Boletaria with like everything that Allant believes in common. Ooh, protection of the Erd Tree. This is interesting. Sorry, chat. Gonna be a little distracted with this. Okay, so for the Erd Tree faith, everything was in opposition to the Erd Tree, but through countless victories it became the embodiment of order. And we find this here. Which makes sense, it could just be the general idea of the plateau. But, okay, here's my working theory. I think what happened was there were a bunch of tribes on the plateau. I think the Lux were probably one of them. They may even be the major civilization here. But the idea was that I think there were a bunch of different tribes here. Blood Ruins may have had one. Maybe something here in Dominula or whatever the place was called, assuming this is it. Or maybe Dominula's like over here or something. Anyway, the point is that there were a bunch of different tribes here. Godfrey was one of them on the plateau, and they all warred against each other in like a constant like tiny Germanic tribes like in the Gaul. So it's like, and then like obviously America comes in like Roman Caesar and is like, okay, I'm gonna take over and unite a bunch of you under my banner. And Godfrey was of course the chief tribesman who she was working with in that regard. That's my working theory. I got both of you. That's actually shocking. Alright, so we want to go this way. Stonefang. BF Bonfire. Oh, Bonfire. Yeah, the Bonfire design in Dark Souls, compared to Dark Souls 3, is so different. And I kind of miss... I definitely miss the Dark Souls 1 Bonfire because it's so iconic. Like, compared to, like, Dark Souls Remaster, and you could just see it. Like, so much was lost with the Remaster when they, like, updated the fire effects and lost that creativity to the flame itself. I don't know why Dark Souls 3 why the developers decided to turn away from that iconic look to the flame. Again, I assume it's part of the more trying to go in the realism direction, but it's such a crying shame. Oh. We want to go down here, okay. Wait, there's someone there. Oh, it's Gold Mask. Oh, found you. What the hell are you doing here? Go back to Caelid, you little shit. Oh, you ruined my thing. I thought I could poise through that. Oh, okay. Yeah. There we go. Oh! So that's how I get this, huh? Okay, I guess we'll look at that in a sec. Let me get my items. Oh, there's rats here. God, this place is so diverse. So many different enemies. Alright, how do I get down without dying, possibly? Because I don't trust this game with fall distances. There we go. You have got to be kidding me! I just missed your head! You little shit. Yeah, second one, just for good measure. Arrgh. More of these graves. By Dominula, which I guess makes sense. I assume Dominula doesn't have a proper graveyard, so this will have to be their graveyard. I'm surprised we're seeing a lot of these graves, though, actually upright, considering how much they just kind of put them in walls and leave it at that. Very curious. Alright, let me get my runes, and then we can, like, park ourselves somewhere and focus on reading chat. Because I'm tired of being, like, antsy about my runes. There we go. Yeah, see, look, another one of these guys who do the escorting. Yeah, totally. That's definitely what happened with the other one. Yeah, so we're back here. Okay. I haven't been seeing a lot of those Saint Tree, buds, so... Or whatever it's called. Budding blood... Whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, sacramental blood buds, or whatever it is. Okay, let's go see Gold Mask, and then I'm sure he's. Oh my God! You weren't even who I was aiming for. There we go. I do love having Ambush actually deal with these mooks pretty easily, though. I'm liking that. Oh, whoopsie. Oh, wow, it even one-shots these guys. Wait, what is my... I have 70 intelligence, and I'm now buffing my dexterity, right? To increase my weapon damage and spellcasting speed. Oh, cool. That's good to know. Stimulating... Oh, you're up there. Whoopsie. Whoopsie daisy. No, wait, this had to have been built by the Erd Tree Order, right? Because isn't this their symbol? With multiple intersecting rings and stuff like that? Oh, we're gonna take a screenshot of this for later either way. Because either way, I gotta look into it. Okay, I guess we're going this way. How the hell did you get up here? Oh. Bye-bye, roly-poly. Alright, I think I should be safe up here, so let's read chat. Oh my gosh, chat. I gotta scroll up. First I've gotta do that. Let's see. Will you go to Invisible Place? What's the Invisible Place? Home to Crazy Stone. Stonefang? Let's see. Windmills from BB had crazy ladies too. That's very true. Have you watched Tarnished Archaeologist videos? Xavier, I have seen 2 of them. I have to watch some of the others, because... it's funny, the 2 I watched both started out with saying stuff where I was just like, what? No. I was like, because I watched it on recommendation from other people, and I was like, oh, this would be cool. I'm sure I like, when listening to, like, because obviously my analyses go a lot into, like Souls archaeology, essentially, right? So it'd be cool to listen to someone who basically specializes in that. And when it came to stuff, not necessarily the archaeology itself, but stuff outside of that, or some of the interpretations from there, both of them I was just like, okay, this just sounds way off. Which, hey, that's fine. It's totally cool. But, like, I was just like, I feel like, I don't know if that's, like, for all the videos it's gonna be like that, or if I just picked the 2 videos that gave me the worst first impression, but... like, I remember one of them was, like, talking about Dark Souls 3, and, like, I think it was the idea of comparative analysis, the idea of, like, okay, we're trying to see the history of a place, so the idea is, like, how icons and stuff change or get replaced or things like that he was talking about, and then he used Dragheap as an example, comparing the statue of Prince Lothric with the statue of the Lothric Knight severing his head, on a similar asset fountain, seen in the Dragheap, and I'm like, those aren't the same squares. Like, you can literally look at it, they're completely different places, the buildings are like, they're not even, there's no comparison, it's just reusing the same fountain model. There's no like, oh, it's showing us a later or earlier point in time or whatever. It's like, no, it's not. I mean, hell, the pus of man have stagnated and turned into a bunch of wooden blocks around it, so it's obviously not. Like, it's just, that was, like, the worst example you could pick for someone who's analyzed Dark Souls 3 as much as I have, and it just made him come off as someone who doesn't know anything, and I shouldn't listen to the rest of his video. I'm not saying I did that. I'm just saying, that's the worst impression you had. I think most of the rest of the video was, like, good, or at least okay, or something like that. I was like, yeah, this sounds about right. I can't remember, though, if it was that video or the other one, because I remember the other video where he's talking about, the Eternal City theory. He made an Eternal City theory or whatever about, like, them being, like, underground and they physically sank, and I'm just like, oh god, there's so much wrong here. Oh my god, there's just so much wrong with that argument in that case, like, oh boy. It's even weird, because I think he briefly addressed, like, the very obvious counter-argument to that, but then didn't actually address why that shouldn't be looked at. Like, he just sort of, like, glossed over it. Oh, he's so amazing. Do you have any, new video? Nothing super new. Yeah, as far as like, again, he might have some really great content, but, like, just the two videos I saw, they both had something. Again, it's been a little while since I've seen them, so I don't remember all the details, but, like, the stuff there, I was like, should I have been recommended this? Anyway, Merrick reminds me a lot of Justinian. Sounds like Egon, who came to Westeros. Godfrey is her, Belisarius. And before him was Andals and Chiltern. Okay, interesting. You think the Badlands refer to a place with the lands between, or a foreign land given to Nefeli? Badlands are definitely outside lands between. 100%. Because the idea is that Godfrey went to the Badlands to go back to being Hoaraloo, right? So, like, and all the barbarians there basically model themselves after Godfrey when he's, like, not being kingly, so that's that. Hammer of Water, what was his name? And, of course, I'm not following this conversation anymore. Although, given the cultural context, a Chinese emperor/general relationship also fits. Hey, FPS Ninja, good to see you in here. Wasn't a Shay like analog of China in Mard? Oh, you guys are just talking about tons of Game of Thrones stuff. Okay. Invisible places down there. You need to solve puzzle. Gotcha, Eurus or Juris. Again, I still don't know. Did you tell me how to pronounce that? I wasn't looking. Again, I apologize. I try to get people's names right, but I'm multilingual, but not that multilingual. Xavier. I like his Crucible/Godfrey stuff. I'm gonna have to look at that stuff then, because I don't know if I've seen those videos. That might be his best stuff then. Yeah, I'm sure when he comes to, like, strictly the archaeological stuff, he does some really great work. But, like, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, I can definitely see where you have an expertise, and when you go outside that expertise, you go so wrong. Like, it's like, please, stay in Elden Ring. Don't bring Dark Souls 3 into this. You're gonna make me have an aneurysm. The localization already does. I don't need more headaches. Yeah. I'm Iman. I'm just on my phone. That's why I have my real name. Oh no, it's fine to use your real name, Juris. Again, I'm just asking how to pronounce that because I don't know. I legit don't know, and I don't want to. Oh, Gold Mask. You got a dead person near you. You gonna fix that or? No. Okay. Huh. What, are you gonna, like, finger paint the Erd Tree or some crap? Like, what the hell are you doing, my man? So, like, literally just, like, the generic, like, civilian militia model that we've seen around, except with darker skin and gold mask. Dude's an aesthetic, that's for sure. Not aesthetic, aesthetic. I can't even say words properly. Wrote a book, by the way. Wrote a book on Souls lore. I see. And your mask basically resembles a bright light. You might even say the sun. I wonder why. It seems like everything else is just a standard cleric robes. Now, forgive me for looking at your crotch, but nothing too specific on these designs. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Alright, the rest I can see in concept art. Oh. That explains why I haven't found any dialogue with you yet. Uh-huh. I see, you talk with your fingers. Right. Okay. Oh, you're trying to trace what might be Marden's influence? I'll be honest, I think Marden's influence was some of the cosmology and all the stuff with the golden lineage. And, like, the basics of the Shattering. Or the beginnings, probably. And that's about it. I don't think he was involved too much beyond there. Like, maybe there's, like, some side content related to some of the main characters' backstories that, he was involved in, but I don't know. I get the feel... Oh, well... What do we have here? Bunch of dancing ladies? Yep, it's Hemwick. That's Hemwick, alright. Oh, we're not even at this town proper. Ugh. Oh, I hate this. Okay, the worst thing that Sekiro did was... Oh. Where did you all come from? You done? Have we had our moment? I moved too far away there, but I didn't want to die, so... Oh well. The travails of life. Let's try Stars of Ruin. We haven't really used that one yet. Oh, right. Stars of Ruin doesn't split. Oh, sick. There we go. So, you killed the men, I see. Oh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, I guess we'll be looking at that. Meanwhile... keep calling me I-Man. Oh, it's I-Man. Oh, I see. It's I-Man. I'm sorry. Ignore my real name. Okay, sorry, explains a lot. Sorry, I-Man. It was really hard to... It was really hard to tell it was you, honestly, without your, name, which you wouldn't think, but... You're, so easily recognizable when you're in my chat. Always memorable. On Reddit, we've theorized that Goldmask was a Greater Will supporter. So you think that, as in separate from, like, the Erd Tree in America and stuff like that? It was made for him by his followers because he didn't like clothes. If I recall. That's hilarious if true. That's really good. J.R.R. Martin's a cool guy. There's evidence that Moog was meant to be a mini-boss like the Godsquin, then it was changed. I wouldn't be too surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Moog was supposed to be a separate character with, like, the model. Like, maybe they had some other idea here. Or maybe they just didn't plan to make... Because I assume when you mean, like, a mini-boss like the Godskin, you mean, like, he'd be kind of generic. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wonder if the idea of including him, like, the idea was, oh, we'll keep him for DLC, like that, he'll be the big boss there, but then, like, change of plans or something. And they say, no, we'll make Moog this model or whatever, and then we'll be done. Oh, what's this? Oh. Oh. That's a lot less leaves than I was expecting on the Halig tree. I'm just pointing that out there. But yeah, this has to be a Halig tree, right? Okay, who's building all these support braces in the middle of, like, the ocean here? Actually, why are you planting a tree in the middle of the ocean? Mikola, what are you doing? Are you dumb? Jeez, no wonder Mo kidnapped you. Why don't you go plant a tree in the middle of nowhere? What could possibly go wrong? Noble. There we go. Such cloaks were gifted to those who depart on missions to faraway lands from which they were never returned. But what choice did they have, having the guidance of grace, worn by expatriated royalty? A hooded cloak of deep navy increases mind. So this belongs to royalty, not nobility. But this is a noble's traveling cost. So this is kind of... oh, but it's worn by expatriated royalty. I have to check the name and description for this then in the Japanese, because I wonder if it actually says noble here or not. I'm going to have to double check. That's interesting. A gift of such rare beauty, a royal wouldn't disgrace their illustrious heritage, even if found dead in a ditch in the middle of nowhere while wearing such splendid raiment. Huh. So royalty with a knight, it seems, because we got a sword, didn't we? Where is it? Sword. Here it is. A twin blade, probably the chivalric way. So I'm guessing the idea is just someone who's like, what's her face with the spirit tuning. Do you want to try some spirit tuning? The Shattering War feels very much like Martin, I would agree. Yeah, you guys are just good to keep on talking about Martin. There's multiple cut spawn locations, like there would be many of him. Yeah, that's probably the idea then. That or the idea of Moog having, like, body doubles like Margit and Morgoth might be. See, here's the problem with that. Because of the way the cosmology in Elden Ring works, it's really hard to say. Like, oh yeah, totally, if you see, like, multiple versions of that same enemy, that probably means they were a generic enemy. Because now it's like, well, yes, but no. Oh, what's this? They kind of look like the trees you see with, oh, well. Well, I think I know what we're gonna find there. They kind of look like those trees you found at the Shifa River, though. He's just a kid, hence the sun-like mask. Yeah, I think Godric was specifically said to be one of the characters he wrote, written as a heroic fallen and portrayed as a corrupted creature. Ooh, I'd love to see that quote on Godric. That'd be kind of neat to read about. I don't know how much Martin's actually commented on this game outside of the 5,000 years joke that he made, which is so obviously, like, again, maybe he's serious and it literally has been 5,000 years, but just me playing this game, I'm like, it doesn't feel like that, at least. But it's obviously the way he's saying it in context. It's like, it's a joke setting. Like, don't take that comment too seriously, everybody. Like, how many times do I have to say it? Hyperbole and exaggeration is intrinsic to language. Let's not, like, go overboard because we hear big numbers suddenly thrown out there, especially in a comedic setting. Wow, men really are terrified, huh? Oh! I see. Well, that was not the reason I was expecting. God, sorcery just gives you so many options. It's so frickin' fun. It's just be like, how do I want to kill you? I'm going to kill you, it's just a matter of how I do it. So, dude, I killed him. It's okay. There we go. It's okay. I killed the hybrids. We're all good. Misbegotten be no more. Misbegotten be missing. Ay, 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 ay. Oh. Ay, ay. There's Volcano Manor. Isn't Goldmass Meteor Guy? Now he's just a dark-skinned commoner. The Stone Lords are much taller. Yeah, they also have like a unique texture to their skin. Hey Loki, it's 3:14 a.m. here in the UK. Hey Arberg. But I can't sleep, so I'm getting up to do work and listen to your stream. Listen, I know the feeling. When you can't sleep, you can't sleep. But do try to get yourself back on a normal schedule as soon as you can. Don't wanna have you ruin your beauty rest. But it's great to hear from you. Gosh, yeah, it would be that hour right now in the UK, huh? With the time difference. Let's see. His ID is something like Omen Demon, literally a generic name. Yeah, but honestly, even that doesn't necessarily mean too much because, again, sometimes when you use the code names and stuff, because you don't know when exactly maybe they were deciding on what the name of the character was going to be with Martin and stuff like that. So it's possible that that was decided later. Again, I doubt it. I think I agree with you. That's probably is a generic enemy, but I can definitely see a case being made. Either way. I have a question. Hi, man. You people need to sleep. Darcy, hello. I have a question regarding your recent analysis on Yarnum. You theorized that the brick trolls are the result of birth defects caused by contact with outsiders. I'm wondering how you reached that because it's the first time I've ever heard of such a concept. I don't think necessarily it was reached with outsiders. Like, it's not like, oh my god, the pure Yarnum race is met with outsiders and all that stuff, and therefore now they're defected or whatever. Again, if the analysis wasn't clear, it's based on the general understanding that, yeah, birth defects can happen and they can be genetic. Now, the actual behavior of the you call them trolls, right? The enemy is, like, called the hunter's minion or something like that, right? Or the mob's minion, I think was the official name, but I'll have to double check that. Anyway, the point is that they're called, like, minions, manservants, etc. And the point is that they're big, they're hulking, they have the funkish voice, like, very dominant, like that. They have the, oh, sister, the appeal to the dear sister, it's cold and all that. The surrounding by crows, this fascinating with shiny objects like the coins that we see, because again, they're unique to them. Like, you get coins from, like, anyone, so why do you get the coins, specifically the particularly shiny coins, from there? Because again, they're childlike in their mentality, so like, ooh, jingly keys, it's shiny! And then, like, the crows obviously also like that stuff. And they apparently just get themselves constantly surrounded by these big, scary crows. And they don't deal with them, even though they're so much bigger and could easily kill. Like, just all that stuff taken together gives the impression that the idea is that these are mentally deficient individuals. And that the idea with Yarnum being is that they basically take advantage of the mentally disabled. You also get the similar idea with Hemwick. If you read my Hemwick analysis, you'll see that all the men go out in order to deal with, like, you know, the foreign threat of Yarnum and the Healing Church and all that, right? Except for 2 males. 2 stay behind at the town. One is a guy in a wheelchair. Obviously, he's not the best person to go out patrolling out in the forest graveyard. And then there is, of course, one of the minion people. So again, we get the idea that if you are physically or mentally disabled, Hemwick's like, okay, stay with the women. We, the real able-bodied and able-minded men, will go out there and protect our small town that's been infringed upon by those nasty foreigners or whatever, right? That seems to be the general concept when it comes to the Hunter's minions. Though I'm surprised that's the first time it's brought up, because I don't think I came up with it all on my own either, because I definitely feel like I've heard that from someone, somewhere. Maybe it was Sophie or someone, but... Hello? Eek! I hear a festive melody! No, no, don't skin me! Well, that got dark real quick. My hide is filthy, I swear! I wonder if that's, I gotta check the dialogue for that. I wouldn't be sure if the term, kagare is being used there. Loki thinks I get beauty sleep. I'd have to be Philly or something for that. Anyway, Darcy, again, I'm interested to hear, your how, if that's really been the first time you heard that, because it's like, really? Let's see. Moog is my favorite boss fight. Great music. I love his color scheme. You get to kill a pedophile. 10 out of 10, boss. Oh my god. Listen. Sometimes there's just certain people in the world you don't feel bad for having to die. Like Gwyn or Moog. Both of whom diddled kids. Let's see. You have to read Abyssal Archive for that one. I have no luxury of that. Sorry to hear about that, I-Man. Found the demigod thing. The Victrols especially were one of the enemies that freaked me out. Hearing them groaning and mumbling to themselves kind of fits with gothic literature, asylums, etc. Yeah, like, you have to also understand that, again, Yarnum, I think, more than most, is definitely rooted in, most compared to other, like, FromSoft games. Like, Miyazaki obviously has a lot of influence with, like, medieval culture and society and stuff with Demon Souls and Dark Souls, but, it's mostly surface level. Like, even his Executioner stuff isn't really that deep into the culture and the practices and stuff. It's mostly just, like, the generic necessities in order to tell a competently well-made fantasy European medieval inspired setting, right? But Bloodborne, you can definitely tell there's a lot of looking into Victorian history and culture and practices and thoughts at the time and philosophy and things like that was definitely went into it. And the idea of how the mentally disabled were to be treated and considered definitely plays into that. And you can definitely see, like, both the pre-Victorian era and the Victorian era itself that play into how all that plays out. Because again, the general idea was like your disabled people were like the jesters of society, right? They were people who you can kind of have a good laugh at for how Providence made them, right? Versus, say, in Victorian times, it became more like, oh, you know, it's this terrible, awful, it's so awful that these have happened to these people. What do? We have to find a solution to help fix these people one way or the other, right? Obviously, that went into very dark places with eugenics and stuff like that, but again, that's a factor to keep in mind, and that's something I touch upon with the idea of, at least, broadly, in the concept of Yahar Ghul as a place that wants to stay closer to its Thumerian roots and stay quote-unquote pure. In fact, playing Bloodborne and, like, getting to Chalice dungeons and stuff like that, I would definitely say that there's definitely seems to be this idea that Yahar Ghul's residents try to keep in touch with Thumerians and have at least, like, a loose relationship. We, of course, with seeing the Snatchers and stuff in the upper levels of the Fumarian ruins, and then you get to stuff like that. So all that definitely plays a part. Blah, blah, blah. The Brick Troll, let's see. When Martin wrote these characters and when he provided that origin story mythos for the world of Elden Ring, these demigods were much closer to their original form, and maybe closer to human form back then, before the Shattering, before it all started. So it was more up to us to interpret this and say, how did they become such inhuman monsters? Yeah, definitely, like, you look at Godric, you definitely get that feeling. Pretty sure he said his favorite character Martin wrote was Rykard. I wouldn't be surprised. That seems like a character Martin would really like. Yeah, Martin wrote them and Miyazaki twisted them into its present state. Yeah, so I'm curious then how much like, say, Rykard becoming the getting eaten by the blasphemous serpent and stuff then was Martin versus Miyazaki. That's an interesting question. Because I'm curious how far into the Shattering War and stuff that all played out on Martin's side. I see. I was just blindsided by that particular passage, but even then, I still appreciate the greater point you were trying to make regarding the manservants. Thank you for answering. Oh, no problem, Darcy. I'm glad to help. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's definitely shocking. In some ways, it's meant to be, right? Because Yharnam and Blood, like I said in my at the beginning of my Yharnam thesis, I'm pretty sure. Yharnam's an ugly place, right? It's nuanced. It's definitely very nuanced in how Miyazaki handles it. It's not like just bigotry is bad, fellas. Like he definitely sort of like tries to create he tries to create an interesting world. He doesn't just try to like tell a message, right? And I think that comes through very well. But it's definitely something that's ugly. It's an ugly thing looking at how various aspects of Yharnam society works, both on the good and the bad. It's never pretty. And to be honest, I've always appreciated Miyazaki for his commitment to nasty subject matter. Like, I've always talked about it before. I don't like talking about Priscilla, Rosaria, like, that stuff always makes me uncomfortable to talk about just personal level. Like, I don't mind just doing it, like, just telling it to you guys, but, like, because I talk about, like, Torns and stuff, but, like, just personally, I just don't like getting into those types of topics. Always nasty stuff. Oh, I only got one of you. Whoopsie. So, like, it's kind of neat for me to be able to, like, talk about all this different stuff, with you guys and all that, but then I have to talk about, like, this really deep and, like, nasty, subject matter, and it's like, man, this makes me feel uncomfortable, but it's really good storytelling, and I always appreciate Miyazaki for that. Like, it's definitely dark fantasy. They lost me in the dark. Hallelujah. There we go. What's got you all riled up, lady? Oh, Celebrant's Cleaver, huh? God, that laughing. They're having a fun old time. Can't find... Oh. Nope. God, I have so many of these. There we go. Yep. Yep. Human bone, huh? Yep, just graft together some human bones. A lot of grafting in this game, I would say. Ooh, nah. God, we haven't even gone to the capital. These are the ones we see normally with bodies on them, but the bodies aren't here because all the flesh and bones are being used. That's a cheery thought. I'll be honest, I'm amazed that they didn't just copy-paste Yharnam Dark Souls 3 dog, or yeah, just Yharnam dogs in general for the enemies here. Because between Yharnam or Lothric or what have you, it feels like Miyazaki's made enough dogs that he could have all his games just reuse the same models with all the other reusing Elden Ring does. It's amazing that they're like, no, we need a new dog model. Imagine being the guy whose job is chiefly just to make dog models for every one of these games. Like, it's like, okay, get Tanaka-san. Tanaka-san! I can't tell if these guys get stronger at night, or it's just that all their singing and dancing makes them like that. I wonder what the history of Dominula is in the wider scheme of things. Like, was this one of those quote-unquote tribes that existed out in the Plateau for a while? And if so, how did things change for them when they came under the Golden Order rule? Like, what was their big shtick before all that? I guess the idea would have to be maybe making paper and parchment, considering their skills with skinning humans and stuff like that now. There might be some crossover there. Well, I guess there are windmills, so maybe it has something to do with grain and farming. It was just a farming village. Let's see. We need to be breakdancing in circles for the harvest. My favorite content of this place was a Twitch streamer who made their green screen self the same size as the old ladies and danced with them. Oh my god, I have to see that. That sounds amazing. Also, check Sinclair, Lore Loki. Nice to have a guest appearance there. Yeah, I do like guesting on Sin's podcast. It's very nice. Let's see. Yeah, being from the UK, we learned in history class a lot of the dark side of medicine during the Victorian period, observation medicine, lobotomies, etc. Yeah, and it's like, it's one of those things where when you are aware of like the basics of like the time period and stuff like that, a lot of the stuff that Yarnum does, it seems very obvious, right? Like a lot of the mysticism stuff with the executioners, it's something that you won't necessarily pick up on unless you just kind of know how big mysticism was during the Victorian period, and then it sort of sticks out to you. Again, I wouldn't say it's like necessary to understand the lore or something like this. It generally isn't. Again, Dark Souls, you just need to know, like I said, you just need to know the basics of the medieval period. And you can do the same with Yarnum. You just need to understand the basics of how, like, you know, Victorian England was basically, and that basically answers a lot of your questions. But like a lot of the smaller details and stuff, it definitely helps to have that as a concept. There we go. And then, oh wait, no, actually, I gotta scroll down still. Let's see. Utter nasty subject matter. The nastiest lore thing, in my opinion, is Dark Souls 2 being real. Hey, Goofy the Grafted. Ay. That's one way to start this this time in the chat. Great to see ya. Can't wait for Armored Core. Agreed. Rykard was probably changed a lot during development. He's probably more connected to Godsquin due to the fact that he has blonde hair on all portraits. And had different, and on all portraits had different parents. Citrus, I'm not sure. I think there needs to be an and there, but correct me if I'm wrong. I may be being stupid. Gwyn looks like a mummified Santa, and to think he diddled the hairy dragon girl. So well, we have a Gwyn. Yeah, the less we talk about, the less I have to talk about Gwyn and Priscilla, the better. It's not dark, it's gothic. Gwyn did what? Well, that was funnier in my head. Yarnum is done for. This town's finished. I think they used the Bloodborne dog a couple of times. I'm gonna have to keep my eyes open then. This place always gives Resident Evil 4 vibes. I can imagine. Don't say. Wasn't red eyes that make them stronger? Yeah, I understand that red eyes makes them stronger, Eye-Man, but my question is if the red eyes mean anything like deeper than that. Is it like, oh, because it's nighttime, like with the demi-humans, or is it because they like do like some ritual thing or something? I'm not paying attention too much. If you may notice, I like reading you guys in chat because for some reason there's a lot of people here on stream. I don't know if it's because it's been a while and a lot of people want to check me out after so many days, but yeah, it's great to have you all in here. Chat's been super lively tonight. I don't know what I did, but maybe I should be streaming at this hour more often. I've been trying to do it at a decent hour for a lot of different people, like around midday my time on the East Coast, so like, whatever. Great to have you guys here. There we go. And then, I do believe they focused on Rykard's pirate aspect. Pirate aspect. Ooh, I haven't heard this. At least in cut content. Yeah, sorry, there should be an and. Okay, yeah. and had different parents. Yeah, I don't know about the different parents bit, but I would be interested in looking into just the general idea of how much changed with the content and stuff. Again, I'm still doing my playthrough, so I haven't looked too deeply into Elden Ring lore and stuff like that. Like, you guys on Discord have probably showed me more stuff than I probably would have ever seen just passively on my own. But, like, yeah. I will eventually finish this game, and then I will decide whether or not I want to cover it on my website. I still haven't decided. I'm kind of inching towards there. If you guys haven't noticed, I've been doing more stuff for Smotown lately. Like, a lot of different videos I've been giving his commentary and, like, feedback and stuff on, like, translation things. And he's recently, his most recent video on the Black Knives, he asked me for a bunch of stuff, and I gave my perspective. Very kind of him. He even did a shout out to Abyssal Archive. I never asked him to do that. That was so sweet of him. Like, thank you. Okay, yeah, this has to be because of, like, the nighttime or the festival or something. Because they suddenly get red eyes when they stop. Go away. Oh no, I don't get my HP back when I hit them. Bloodborne spoiled me. No! I'm like, wait, I'm not gaining HP. No! Oh no! Oh no, 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 no! Oh no, no, not again! Ah! Okay. I can level up. And I can just rush up here. Where the... Okay, it's here. I was about to say, where the hell's a Grace? They get red eyes when you interrupt their dancing. It's been fun. Hey, thanks, Xavier. So, basically, don't interrupt the ladies with their crazy dance. Let them do their routine. Gotcha. Level up. More into Dex. Not a lot of numbers on this one, but it's an investment. Alright, who do I read before we go into this boss fight? That'll probably take a million years. You found the magic hour. I guess I did. Alkaios. Also, welcome in. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Let's see. He was called Captain Rykard and used to have these gay admirers who partook in his inquisition named Dedekar. Ah, I see. Dedekar's a woman in the final game, though. That's an interesting little detail. Or is she? Dun dun dun. Loki streams are the best streams. Thanks, John Kick. I appreciate it. Foreskin time. Where did you think the skinning came from? At least they have good music. That's true. The boss theme is pretty rad. Yeah, that makes sense, right? They're skinning humans. So here's the question then. When they're called Godskin, does that mean that they're all the people of the Golden Order that were skinned? Because this has always been a curious detail, right? They're called the Godskin, and their whole shtick is, like, hunting the gods or whatever. But the only real quote-unquote god is technically Marika. Like, she's the only one actually called a god. I guess you could include the demigods by virtue of, like, them being called demigods, so therefore they're kind of quasi in the god area. But, like, again, if what's his name? If Godwyn is the first dead of the demigods, and the events of the Glowmite Queen clearly happened before, because we have to get rid of Destined Death and have that whole immortality and all that with Godfrey and all that, and Radigan and everything first. So, from what I can tell, I guess the idea has to just be that they're, the idea of the gods as a society, even if the individual nobles and something aren't necessarily considered gods, because, you know, Marika's the god, as she so doofully likes to remind Radigan, that dog of the Golden Order, of the Greater Will. Alright, ladies, coming through! Oh my god. This controller, man. I figured out how to fix it, and it's so dumb. It's just pop out the left analog stick. And suddenly everything works. I don't know why, but if I do, like, this, for example, it does the problem. Yep. Gotta pop it out. There we go. Okay. So let's see. Okay, that's not that bad. Alright, so here's the question. Dang it! Right, still doesn't work. Okay. Gotcha. He's smart! He knows how to dodge! Okay, how much does this do? Okay. Okay, guys, this might not be that bad. Especially if that's his dog. Oh my god! Meteor! Stopped by a bush! There we go. Yeah, this isn't that bad. Oh, what's it? Not if I do that, though. That's dumb. Ooh, what's Stars of Ruin like? Oh, never mind. We're doing this. Stars of Ruin. Okay, so if I can't use Common Azure, use Stars of Ruin on bosses. That is fucking dumb. Oh, that damage. Okay, Godskin. God, I hope all of you are that easy. Ay, ay, ay. Wait, I'm not crazy, right? I could have swore we saw... Maybe I can't see it at night. Let's go to daytime. Past the time until noon. I found some dude who was reviewing Abyssal Archive, and he had like a few K followers. Oh, cool, man. I'm glad to hear that people are actually looking. I'm glad that people are actually, you know, giving it a read and like evaluating it. I'm really cool about that. It's really nice. First time catching you live. Yeah, very cool. Thanks to have you. I'm very always glad to have you guys. Like, obviously, if you guys watch the VODs, I'm totally fine with that. It's like, I don't got anything against VOD viewers. I love watching VODs. But, like, it's always cool to have people in here and in the chat and chatting it up and all that stuff. Like, seriously, you guys are really been great. I really love the community that I have around me. And again, it feels weird for me to say that, like, I have a community. It's not really that. It's like, you guys, I just say shit, and, like, you people apparently like to listen to it and, like, come around. It's like, it's just, it's so humbling. It really is. It's really crazy to me that, I'm even doing all this. Anyway. It's probably like you say, yes, the god, the ones they skin are all on the side of God. Yeah, that seems to be the general idea. I'm assuming they all get lumped in as gods because they're all part of Marika's clan and she's quote-unquote god. But they themselves don't seem to refer to themselves as gods outside of Marika. And again, the whole point of the way things are set up, from what I can read in the text, is that Marika is the quote-unquote designated god by the Greater Will. And then there's an Elden Lord that goes with God. Same thing with Placidusax or whatever his name is. Yeah, I said they're probably more connected to Rykard and we're wearing thrown down skin of Aegle, the Serpent God, or something. Yeah, yeah. The interesting thing with the God skins and the serpents are definitely something that I want to look into. Because if I remember right, Godskin Noble has like a tail, right? So like, is that like? Because they seem to have like human faces, but like. You don't know, right? I don't know, I gotta look closer at their, like, physiology and stuff, because, like, they get really snaky and twisty, and it's hard to tell how much of that is because they're, like, I don't know, maybe they're, like, golems or something, they're not actually people. They're, like, just, like, I don't know, like, skin golems or some shit, which, it's an interesting concept in itself now that I think about it, but anyway. Yeah, he was giving a good reference about book. Oh, that's cool, I'm very, you know what, a positive review is the best type of review, so I won't complain. Hey, I-Man, I don't know if you're in the Discord or whatever, but leave it in the comments section or something. Feel free to leave a link to there. I'd love to watch it, even if it's like in another language or something. You know, just being able to, you know, just see what you guys think of it. I'm always happy to hear from you guys on that stuff. It's really cool. Haley Tree's not here. Wrong place. Okay, so I'm not looking the right direction then. Because I could have swore I saw it. Oh, you know what? It's probably like, I saw it like over there or something. But with this fog, I can't see anything. I swear, I thought Liurnia was bad, but this place gets quite the misty mornings. It's not even morning, it's noon. Stop! You have a giant... How is the Erd Tree hidden? How? How is this fog keeping the Erd Tree from being visible? This makes no sense. It literally can be seen as a bright, giant beacon from everywhere in the land. And yet a little fog right next to it is like, well, too thick. It doesn't work. It just doesn't happen anymore. I'm gonna get myself killed up here. Just gonna leave that out there right now. So let's not. Go. So this was cool. Cool little diversion. Glad to know Godskins are in Plateau territory. Nah, dude, you're awesome. Interesting lore, and you being a weeb, it's a win-win. The weeb stuff is what sells it, huh? Well, like I said, I'm gonna try to do more videos for like the YouTube channel. I'm thinking about something like I'm thinking of reviewing Hawkshaw's timeline vid as like my first thing, because like for those that don't know, I worked with Hawkshaw first before like I started working with other content creators like Vati and stuff. In fact, I was actually planning to be exclusive to Hawkshaw, but we ended up separating after a few months because Hawkshaw was just so, at least at the time, I don't know if things have changed, but Hawkshaw was so slow with releases in terms of video content, things like that. And obviously, I had a lot to say about the localization and the interpretation of the lore and things like that. So I was gonna be like their exclusive provider on terms of in terms of just translation content, stuff like that. You let them have first dibs and all that. But things just didn't work out, and I just had to go to other people like Vati. And, you know, that ended up working for the best. And again, I was always open to Hawkshaw coming back if they wanted to ask me questions or something, but, you know, it never happened, so... Anyway, it's cool. So I want to, like, look at their timeline video as just people who, like, I have a very personal affinity with Hawkshaw, and I just kind of interesting to kind of like review like one of their longer videos. I think one of their more popular videos too, and kind of breaking down the localization issues, or maybe even just other stuff, like maybe just faulty argument or reasoning or whatever. It'd be kind of cool to kind of break down where Hawkshaw goes wrong relying on the English script. Do we? Yep, there we go. There we see it. Yeah, a lot less leaves and foliage than I was expecting, but maybe because it's far away. Because this game has a very weird thing with distance. It really does not show a lot of stuff. Alright, are we done? Are you done trying to kill me? Nope. I see. Still got those trebuchets. Fine by me. Oh. I didn't see you there, buddy. Oh my. My man is Neo! He be dodging these slow-mo! Woo! Just ducking around. Hello, buddy. Oh. Or maybe I'm just bad. Well, that explains this. Should have honestly seen that coming. Hello. There we go. Yes, run. Run, you fools! Loki on a power trip! I shall conquer all of you! A single lone tarnished! Alright, that's enough fun for me. Hello, buddy. Oh. There we go. Everything's right with the world. Holy, what the frick? Yeah, okay. Don't hear me. I hope you all saw that and saw the bullshit that absolutely was. What the hell? I can't have nice things. I really can't. knocking down the entire forest while you're at it, Mr. Lion. Yeah, okay, sure, buddy. Oh, whoopsie. Come on. Yeah, it's too far away. Get over here. Oh my. You are such a little bitch. Come on. Come on! Come on! Do something! Okay, this should be close enough. Oh, it is not. Man, the range really is short on this one, huh? Okay, we'll do it about here. Go on. There we go. I just wanted to do that once. Goodness me. Honestly, for those smaller enemies, I might just use Stars of Ruin, just because Common Azure can be so finicky when it comes to elevation. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you do that, buddy. And you're dead. Yep, that seems about right. Pray into the minor tree. Well, while you do that, I'll be looking at chat. Oh. You guys are making me scroll so much. Chat is so crazy today. I never had to scroll through this stuff before. Usually you guys come at like a normal pace, but you guys are going all out. Both have snake aspects. It says, I think, that they are made/birth. I don't remember, but the by the Glowmite Queen. Yeah, I vaguely recall that as well, Xavier, so I think you're probably right. They're probably artificial constructs, now that I think about it. Okay, I'll try to re-find it, LOL. I'm in DC. No problem. Oh, you're in DC? As in Washington, DC? That's cool. Giant's Fire is overrated. The fog is the true enemy of the Earth Tree. What's a weeb? A weeb is an anime/manga fan. The term can be used both descriptively and pejoratively. Yeah, Darcy's got it pretty much right, yeah. I'm assuming Darcy isn't being mean when he says weeb, but you never know. Maybe I'm being insulted. How will I ever recover? Anyway. I would love to see more content with you and Sophie. I don't know if you've seen her content with Casative on Dark Souls 3, but I replay that playlist all the time. I don't think I have either. I don't recognize it, but I'm gonna have to see it. Yeah, okay, it's probably one of the older videos. Actually, not just anime/manga, but Japanese culture as well. Yeah, it's true, weeb is being used that more and more that way, huh? Makes sense. You'll see when you, you'll see why when you get there, I see. I remember Bastard's Curse video. Oh, you know what? I do remember that vid from I forget what the old channel was called, but yeah, that was an interesting one. Mimic tier, LOL. You should put Terra Magica as your first, so when you hold the button, it automatically returns to it easily. That's true, Xavier. That could be. But I don't use Terra Magica outside of bosses in certain niche scenarios, so I don't mind keeping it this way. I think it's interesting that Godfrey and Godwyn are more floral and nautical themed to make us think use of blue and silver, while Godric has lions, trees, and add axes with orange and green, very different. Yeah, it's very interesting how the different characters sort of have their own little looks and styles to them almost. I cut a half range of that spell because people were complaining and I cut a half. they cut the range in half for that spell because people were complaining in PvP. I see. PvP. We're not having any fun. Okay, so PvP and PvE are separate now, right? So can we, like, unnerf the spell's range? Can we go back to having, like, whatever the original range was? Because now it's stupidly short. Who knows? Maybe it was a problem in PvE, too. I think it's interesting that Godfrey and Godwyn are more... Yeah, okay. But I do love the generational contrast. Yeah, that's really... It's really... I really love the... Yeah, I generally like the designs of this game. Why does that man have a tree growing out of his back? Because apparently it seems that they become servants of the Erd Tree, so they're basically, they sacrifice themselves and are reborn by the tree itself, so they're kind of like part of the tree almost. That seems to be the justification, as near as I can tell. Shows how much they've strayed away from their original glory and are sort of all self-worshipping. Yeah, that seems to be the idea, right? Like, the demigods basically basically, once Godwin was killed, everyone basically started descended into a craven bit of selfishness, where everyone was taking a piece of the shattered Elden Ring that Marika broke, and, like, trying to basically claim the title for themselves. Though it's interesting to think what each of them were what each of the demigods were attempting to do. Like, what was, Radon's, goal? Like, what was his stake in this conflict? What did he want to do by becoming Elden Lord? Was it just to become like Godfrey? Was that the idea? He wants to be the person who gets to live up to Godfrey's legacy by becoming Elden Lord like him. Maybe that's it. It's very interesting to think about, though. Hawkshaw came out with a big color theory video. I enjoyed it. Big color theory. Oh, as in on like focusing on color theory. Gotcha. In terms of Souls or just in general, I haven't kept up with Hawkshaw recently when they announced that they were like ending things, and that made me very sad. But apparently they've been back, so that's cool. Weeb complimentary. No, I'm not in DC watching. I was in DC as a Discord. Oh, right, Discord, right, because I've seen you in there, Iman. Yeah, so you can leave the link there. I thought I'm bad with abbreviation, which is kind of, and I thought I'm bad with abbreviation. That's what kind of American thing? Yeah, abbreviations are not my strong suit. I constantly have to look them up all the time because I don't know. I see these things that people do, like someone did an abbreviation of "I see what you did there," which is like ISWDI. Right? And I just looked at that and I'm like, oh, I see what you did there. Okay, I get that. Because I had to figure out from context, but like it was so like perplexed me at first. I'm like, what? I thought Bastard's Curse was made by Jerk Sans Frontier. That's what Sophie's channel used to be called. That's right. Radtasker did a great video about just that topic. Radtasker also has done some really good videos, right? I'm not sure if I liked Radtasker's style of content personally. Again, like nothing wrong with it. It's not like my favorite type of thing in terms of video channels, but like, yeah, generally very good content. Very much recommend Radtasker's videos. It was funny though seeing Rada have this thing where like he only just discovered, apparently. I don't know if he was. I assume he must have been to some extent being facetious. If not, I'm actually very surprised that he only just with Dark Souls 3, like the very end, like then was like, oh yeah, there's this stagnation thing going on with Dark Souls and Miyazaki games. It's like, well, really, you might want to read my book then. I might talk a little bit about how early you should have known about the stagnation theme in his games, because starts out right off with that whole convoluted dialogue. Yeah, JSF's whole channel. So he doesn't like a lot of the content anymore, but I love to see read the thoughts on Dark Souls 3 with Casetiv. I think I've heard Casetiv being spoke about. I think that's how it's pronounced. Okay, yeah. I'm starting to remember now. You're dredging up the memories, Arberg. The meaning of the colors in the game, yeah. It's really, yeah, it's interesting when you look at the color palettes for Elden Ring and stuff, and what they choose and how it looks and everything. Like I said, it definitely looks very pretty and evokes the perfect feel for each area, I think. At least so far. Maybe I'll get to, like, I don't know, mountaintops and I'll be just like, oh, this is shit. But so far, so good. Color video about Elden Ring. Very cool. Oh, right, controller. Again, this is so weird on how the analog stick is, like, broken in the most jank-ass way. But, you know, that just about fits. I really do need to get a new controller for this. I don't think my my plan to use a PlayStation 5 controller is going to work, so I think I need to buy myself a PS4 controller, because I don't think the program I'm using works with PS5, so it's fine. Wow, a lot of these, huh? Game, you're getting a little laggy there. You okay? Alright, we shall continue with the gameplay. Oh, another one of those. Lightning Great Bolt. Yeah, sorry. Just ruining all your searching and all that, but had to be done. Oh god, I hope I'm not missing caves and stuff on these side walls, because I'm like just going through the areas, not really paying attention. Oh boy. I haven't gone there, but that's down here where all the worm faces are. I don't know if we're going to be doing worm faces today, chat. I don't know. Lots of lightning over there. Okay. Oh. This is surprising. Wonder what's up here that I don't see besides the hero grave. Probably late to be asking this, but the volume's good, right? It's been a while since I've done volume in Elden Ring, so I think I got it right, because I think I have the same settings I do all the time, but you never know, right? Adjusting for all these different games has me confuzzled. Thank you. Well, of all the places that have lightning strike, this would be the one, huh? God, another foggy evening, huh? There's someone there. Is that a black knife? Uh-huh. Guys, am I cursed? Am I just not allowed to have fun? Is this the no Loki has fun zone or something? What is with my chances today? Okay, we're gonna do this. Oh. Oh! Oh! I got too close! Ah! Oh. Well. Okay. Okay. I got it. I got it. You're exhausted. You're trying to have a rest by the graveyard near death and all that. I gotcha. I gotcha. A lot of the vibes of it's a sci-fi story told from a fantasy standpoint. Yeah, I can definitely see that with Elden Ring. I don't know if I would say it's necessarily a sci-fi. It definitely feels more like a cosmic horror told from a fantasy standpoint, if that makes sense. Oh, these guys are gold. Oh. Got any unique bones? Also, I make them instantly bleed. I find that hilarious. Okay, let's do this properly. I mean, the boss wasn't moving, so I thought I had initiative, but clearly I just wasn't close enough. All right, let's make this work. There's an invisible wall there that's keeping me from hitting. Okay, that's kind of dumb. Or not. What's with the range? I know Common Azure has more range than that. Oh. Oh. Well, I got assassinated. Well. Well. I'm confused. I wish there was some customizable stuff for Torrent, like different saddles or something. That would be nice. Man, we live in a day where people actually want the horse armor. It feels weird. It's not 2005 anymore, man. 2022 is... Oh, well, 2023, I should say, is weird. It's a new year! Whee! Is the Golden Order America thing, or is it instituted by the Greater Will? America seems to have instituted the Golden Order as it exists, yes. Yeah, apparently any of the top of the Erd Tree, the gold from tendrils that wrap around normal branches. I wish there was some custom... yes, you need to look it up in the web. You can use PS5 or PSV, just some drivers. Yeah, Yeah, but the program using for drivers, Iman, currently doesn't have that. She made it when she removed Destined Death. Yeah, it's hard to say what the order would be called without, like, I guess you could argue it's still technically the Golden Order, but it's hard to say whether or not the Golden Order as we know it would still be called such, if not for Destined Death getting removed. It's possible it was, and we gotta think of this as kind of like, we just know it as Destined Death, the Golden Order, without it, because, that's how it's been for so long. Yeah, volume is good right now. Good to hear. Sound is good. Earlier, Loki said Golden Order is more literally translated as the Golden Regulation, which governs the stars. This is true. So, like, when the localization refers to it as the Golden Order, the term used means, like, law, regulation, you know, kind of like, you know, it's the Golden Rule, as it were, in a literal sense. And the idea being is that it's the laws which govern the universe, right? And in terms of the term where there's... I forget who the narrator is, but, like, when that trailer came out, it's like, the Elden Ring, it commands the very stars, or whatever the English was. The Japanese is literally telling you it regulates the stars, using the same kanji for the regulation, right? So that's an allusion to what the Golden Order does. That the Elden Ring, and thus the Erd Tree, and thus the Golden Order, regulate the stars themselves, as it were. Okay, so how are we going to handle this? Okay, so first off, I'm going to try this at a different angle. Maybe just my angle's bad. If this doesn't work, though, I give up. Yeah, I don't know why this... What? Boss fight? Hello? Whatever. There we go. Whatever. I don't know why Common Azure doesn't work there. I don't know if that's an anti-cheese strat or something that the devs put in, but it's weird how low the range is just because the boss is sitting down, I guess? Yeah, they really are spectral. Also really low quality when you're up close to them like this. FromSoft? Hello? You can make it look sharper than this? I get it, you're supposed to see these from far away, but hello? Don't put them literally right here where I can pass through them like this. Very curious why these have spirit forms. Like, are they manually created, or is this kind of like a ghost thing that we see every now and then, where like there's like an impression left in the world of what these once were there. Very odd, I'll be honest. Oh, more of the swords. Lots of them. More of those golden rams. And something with a item. There we go. Ash of War Lightning Ram. Oh, I guess that's fitting, huh? Get back here, Mr. Roly-Poly! Oh, there's soldiers up there. Top of the morning, fellas! Get back here! I don't know why I just want to kill the golden goats. There we go. Oh my god, my controller. Oop, there we go. Thank you. Oh, nope. Nope. Oh, nope. Thank you. Thank you. Gotta spam that button if I really want to get it while I pass by, huh? This one back here, right? Yeah. Oh my god, it has a lightning roll! That is so cute! I love it! Kawaii, ne? Oh my, that is adorable! Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 that is so cute. Like, who thought of that? That was amazing. I guess they got a lot of static shock rolling around in this, this lightning-infused area, huh? Alright, there's the big sword. The routing of the ancient dragons. Godwin the Golden. Oh. You dumb buddy? Oh! You do that multiple times. Gotcha. Again, I'm still annoyed that sometimes it hits the shield model and it considers it a block. That is super obnoxious considering it's the back of the shield, but I guess with some hitboxes and things, they don't want to accidentally make it where your shields don't work, so I suppose it's understandable. Anyway, the routing of the Ancient Dragon, so the end of the Ancient Dragon War, okay? Oh my god. There we go. Godwin the Golden fought to the last, earning the friendship of Dread Fortisax. Japanese doesn't say fought to the last, it says, fought bravely, basically. Which makes sense, because the term, for those that don't know, the Japanese for hero, at least one of the terms for hero, Yusha, literally means like a brave person. So there's the idea that you are a hero because of your courage, right? So, in terms of Godwin, the idea is that, oh, he's a hero. He fought bravely on the battlefield, right? He's the person who distinguished himself against those terrible dragons, and he fought and won in the face of great adversity. Curious about these platforms. We're finding them around this area. Some sort of ritual thing? Maybe the contact with the... No, it can't be the contact with the stars. Maybe some sort of ritual platform for the Erd Tree. Oh, let's go to the church. You know what, Loki? Maybe we're all cursed. My ancestors were cursed, therefore I'm cursed. Oh boy, I just had to say that. For those that get the reference, toodles. Oh, whoopsie. Okay, can I do this? Oh my god, I can! It actually works pretty well, as long as they're not, like, point-blank range. Sorry, horse. Nothing personal. Hello, Cathedral of the Deep entrance. Hello, lightning. Hello, Sacred Tear. Radigan, huh? Oh, oopsie. When did the Ancient Dragon War happen? Do we know? Oh, something else is here. Dragon Bolt Blessing. I guess the Ancient Dragon War has to have occurred after the events of Godfrey leaving, huh? Church of Radigan. Last battle was here, and the Church of Radigan was built. So yeah, this has to be during the reign of Radigan, I imagine. Well, while I think on that, let's read chat. He's too quick. He's too quick for casting and spams too far. All of them spam 7-3 as far as player. Well, Black Knife went down eventually. She's all the Black Knives are women. Yeah, they're all women. True. Wasn't when the game was real. Yeah, if you do ever cover this game, I think the Shattering War itself, as well as Morn and maybe the Night of the Plot, would be interesting. I didn't know they can repost you. Well, now you know. I'm glad to have been revealing for you in that regard. Can't write sentences today. It's fine. I can't speak today either. You know what, Loki? Maybe we're all, yeah. Like I said, my ancestors were cursed, therefore I'm cursed. I will never forget that quote when I see cursed like that. Spells that have the farthest range is one of the madness spells in Rocksling. Ooh, that's good to know. I think the beam is too wide and is hitting the platform. That is so awkward if that's how the hitbox is working. Like, oh gosh, this game. That fight was cursed. That was a cursed fight. You're too far away. No, I was definitely not too far away, man. I was definitely... I've been farther away and shot with Common Azure, so I know it's not the range. So Greater Will institutes the Golden Order to govern fate, and Marika changes it by removing Destined Death. Yep, that sounds about right. You haven't seen spectral trees and mountaintops. Oh boy, I can't wait to see those then. That's going to be interesting, I'm sure. Is the Greater Will okay with this, trying to figure out their relationship? Greater Will seems to be allowing a lot of this shit to happen. I guess the question is, what is the Greater Will's power and abilities, right? Because the Greater Will seems almost like an Abrahamic god, in a sense, and that it seems to basically be able to do anything. So the question is, what is it personally, what is keeping it from personally interfering in this world? What is its goals or interests, right? Because the idea with God in Demon Souls, the implicit understanding is that the God in Demon Souls wants you to, he wants humans, basically humans and souls were created so that way humans could appreciate the world which God created, right? Like, God created this world, and then he's like, hey, I'll create these creations, and then they can enjoy the world. Now, I want you to respect and love this creation I made, so don't you do evil shit with the souls I gave you, right? And if you do, I'm going to send this big evil giant trash bin called the Old One in order to gobble everything up and remove all of creation, because clearly you guys can't handle things responsibly, right? Okay, have fun. It's all on you. I've laid out everything for you to figure this out, right? And the idea is that you have souls and a mind, so that way you can do all that, right? Not putting any value judgments or anything on that, just saying that seems to be what the lore is. With the Greater Will, though, I don't understand what the Greater Will wants. I understand the Greater Will seems to have created the world as we know it. So does the Greater Will want all of creation to appreciate it? And that's why the Elden Ring needs to have people on it? Like, again, like, I'm not exactly sure. Or is it sort of like the Greater Will exists outside this... Well! Wasn't expecting you! Okay, we'll, yeah. Okay. Think I've ruined my infinite. I hate you. Okay, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm resting. I want to talk with chat. Let me have fun. Land CX. Stop it. Your boss theme sucks. There, that got her. Got him. Okay. Is the Greater Will okay with this? Trying to figure. Okay, so, yeah, my idea is that what is the Greater Will's, like, end game? What was it trying to do? Was it just trying to create the world as, like, an outside force where it was like, oh, let's divide everything up and see what happens, and then it's sort of been a passive observer then? In which case, why is it, in that case, did it not have control over, the development of all life and stuff like that? But that doesn't sound consistent with what we hear seemingly with the beasts and stuff. So if it's the grand architect, as it were, and it's actually, orchestrating everything that's happening, at least in the broadest sense, with a certain goal in mind, right? Like, it has a will, right? It's known as the Greater Will, the Great or Greater Will. So the idea that it has some direction it wants things to go in. But I guess my question then would be, to what end? Where? Like, at what point does the Greater Will be like, I got what I wanted? It seems currently it just wants to preserve the order of the world, at least in some fashion. Yeah, it's just, those are questions that I think we need to wrestle with and understand if we're trying to figure out where it is. But as far as, like, Marika's relationship with the Greater Will, I think it seems to be that Marika was selected to be God, and she got a God complex, understandable. And then she realized that she's not the one always in the driver's seat, and she couldn't handle that. So everything she's done is under the assumption of somehow trying to regain control over her own fate, as it were. I guess in a literal sense in some way. It seems that the Golden Order is indifferent as someone in power. Yeah, it does, because based on the endings, it doesn't seem like the Greater Will doesn't have much of a trouble as long as there is an order, right? That's at least been my impression looking at the way the endings seem to play out. These banners are so weird. I would make sense if they were golden when it would be pretty apparent that Morgoth created them, but now I have no idea. Yeah, I assume they have to be some sort of specter ghost thing, but we don't see that very consistently. So why these banners and why here, Citrus? That's definitely a good question. Pushing to have lightning goats as Elden Ring spirit ashes. Oh my god, yes. Let me summon like 10 of them and just have them all go roly-poly at the boss. That knight was like, you kids get away from that monument! And now you called for the dragon, lol. I still haven't found the place where you find land CX. Well, Xavier, you can watch my stream and you found it. Right up the hill where the lightning is striking. Oh, okay, don't know how I missed it. Yeah, it's apparently not that hard. I accidentally stumbled into it. All these ancient monuments, and the first thing Loki does is jump on them. Listen, I have a mountain goat horse. I'm going to jump on all the pretty ruins with the mountain goat horse. It's in my blood. Or its blood, I should say. Greater Will was okay with Marika altering the Elden Ring, but not destroying it. Why? Isn't Marika removing Destined Death already ruining the world? Not necessarily, because the Greater Will seems to be the idea that you can remove or add rooms to the Elden Ring to create the order. But when you break the Elden Ring itself, suddenly there is no order, right? So the idea is that the Greater Will just wants the Elden Ring to be functional. It doesn't matter, seemingly, what that function necessarily entails. Because, again, at least as far as we're aware, the Greater Will doesn't seem to have a backlash to any of the endings you choose. It seems to more or less be a silent observer on terms of how we institute the order of our choosing. And it doesn't seem to get in the way of any Tarnished who fall away from that path in that regard. Lansax is Fortisax's sister, if I recall. Yeah. She can also take human form, if I remember, which is an interesting notion. Makes you wonder, do humans descend from dragons, like in Dark Souls? That's an interesting idea to wrestle with. Does all life descend from dragons? Like, obviously, if Miyazaki's ripping off cosmology from Dark Souls at all, that makes sense. Obviously, FromSoft Meta Company loves to reference their old games and stuff like that. But I don't know. I really don't know. The motivation of several characters seem to be escaping the Greater Will's influence, so you can't be a passive observer. Well, the thing is, the Greater Will's influence, at least as far as I can tell, amounts to, I want you all to go towards, restoring the Elden Ring to order, right? Or in the case of Marika, I want you to be if you won't let me replace you with another god, then I want you to be the god exactly to my specifications, right? So I'm not saying that the Greater Will is completely passive, but it's not like this. It's not someone who's constantly getting in the way or mind controlling people or anything of that nature. It seems to be almost sort of like sort of this grander I would say puppet master, but you get the idea, right? Like an architect. It's somehow it's adjusting things in the big picture and in some cases the small picture in order to accommodate our needs. But I guess the question is how much the I guess the question would be how much is the events of the Tarnished really a choice of the Greater Will, I guess, versus say, because again, people have told me before the idea that Marika is the one who's actually controlling the two fingers, which if true, we'll see. I haven't seen that play out quite exactly yet, but if that's going to be the big reveal by the end of the game, that's an interesting thing to consider. But we'll see. Oh. Okay, so where's a good stopping point? Because I feel like as soon as I stop and start preparing, you're going to do shit to me. Okay, I think this is good. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay, I can totally do this. If I do this right when Lansax spawns in, we can totally just beat this boss with, like, one shot. I think we can do it. There's a draconic race you could choose from in character creation. That's true, but that might be related to dragon-hearted people. That was my thinking, that it could be that it's not necessarily that, hey, we were all dragons, but now we're not. But it might be a case of people who have dragon hearts and stuff, they start gaining draconic features, but then they have kids. So what happens to those kids who, when they aren't yet worms? That's what I was thinking. I don't know if that's right, but that's a possibility I would want to explore. Let's see. Viking Landsax totally did it. My guy has the red lightning. He's her favorite knight. Yeah, that's very true. My working theory is that the outer god stars are trying to usurp the greater will, so they're all trying to cultivate their own America. I agree to a certain extent. I do get the sense that the outer god... So here's the thing. I agree with, say, the Italian community when they say, like, they think the outer gods are just, like, embodiments of, nature. I agree. I also think that they are the stars. And I think those aren't mutually exclusive as far as concepts go. So if they're stars, and each star governs the fate of not just people, but even concepts of the universe, let's say that they each represent an aspect of disparity, including the individual minds which exist within it. That'd be the idea. Also, I didn't get to do this when they spawned in. That sucks. So we're gonna leave and reset. But I would definitely think that it's possible that the idea of the outer gods is, per their nature, they're just trying to turn the greater will's creation, as it were, to their respective sphere of influence, right? So the rock god is going to want more rot, and it doesn't care about anything except adding more to the rot, right? That's obviously how it's going to work in that regard. Versus, say, I don't know, the water fairies or whatever it is, right? So my feeling is I think the outer gods are basically just sort of, they're acting toward their nature, and their nature is naturally going to be exclusive to whatever it is that they govern. How much individual will they have on top of that, where they're like, oh, we want to have the, we want to screw over this greater will or whatever? I don't know. But I definitely think that there's there's a limit right there where it's like, okay, we're all about this thing, so we want to add more of this thing. Oh, okay. This is too far, I think. Yeah, I think this is too far. Oh. Messed it up. I need to be a little closer. I think if I go from the front, then it'll work better. What I need to do is go the far side around before I turn inward and cause the dragon to fly in. Yeah. My question is whether the Elden Rune is natural. Oh, the Elden Ring is natural. No, it's not. It's another representation of disparity. Yeah, I would agree with Iman. I think that's true. I think when Hyena talks about the one great and the idea that the greater will cause all these differences in the world, let's just use disparity, the Dark Souls term, for the sake of simplicity. I think when the greater will created disparity in order to split up the world and make it into, well, everything we see here, I think that was when the Elden Ring came down. Because I think the idea seems to be that runes are essentially like a code, as it were. It's sort of like the universe's code, or the greater will's code put onto the universe, right? So if you put it in like coding terms, sort of the idea that if the universe is like our giant, like coding sheet or what have you, and then we sort of input this little code that says, okay, there's going to now be death, and there's going to be trees, and there's going to be sky versus land, and there's going to be all these different things which are being represented in-game, of course, the game world as we can see, as here. But underneath it all is just a code of ones and zeros. I think that's what runes function as. They're essentially the universe's code that the greater will has imposed in order to make all of this exist as it does. And that the removal of destined death is basically you just removing death from your code of the game, as it were, right? And okay, nobody can now, quote-unquote, die. I think that's how it is functionally works. And so the Elden Ring is what was brought down and created the differences, as it were. It's the thing that came with the Elden Beast to the quote-unquote lands between and made them the lands between. I would even argue probably the lands between, the concept of them being this idea of there's this land which exists in the gaps, as it were, between this sea of fog. I wouldn't be surprised if all of that sort of exists, as it were, as a consequence of the Elden Ring coming down. Like, the Lands Between sort of became this individual space, this separated dimension in the larger world, because the moment the Elden Ring came down, it sort of created this I don't know, like time-space barrier, as it were. And this time, let's call it a spatial bubble, essentially separated from the rest of the world, which was also influenced by disparity. And that's why we seem to see the influence of the outer gods and everything occur here. Because this is a question I had when I first started. Why is everything happening in the Lands Between? Why can't the rock god, like, I don't know, get itself summoned out on some other side of the planet? Why does it have to be here? And I think it's all because of the Elden Ring. I think everything focuses and revolves around the Elden Ring being present here, and you being able to influence things best from that perspective. Outer god pairs, Formless Mother and Moog, Scarlet Rod and Millennia, Ronnie / whatever the Dark Moon is. Yeah, Dark Moon moons seem to be their own type of star / outer god, yeah. Formless Mother's never explicitly tied to Moog. We just assume it has... No, actually, you're right. Formless Mother is. It's the Blood Star I'm thinking about. I don't know if the Blood Star is explicitly tied to the Formless Mother. I love that FromSoft has mixed up their dragon visually by copying Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters and just slapping as many bird wings as they can fit on things. At least it's not Digimon with jean shorts and a gun. It is funny seeing the dragons here, especially when they consider how much they're reusing terms from Dark Souls for them. They call them ancient dragons, but it's the same term for the quote-unquote arch dragons. Like the words of light in the coded swords in the language of the two fingers. Yes, exactly, Xavier. Same idea. The idea being is that the two fingers and the greater will by extension are using a code with which to influence the universe, right? So they're essentially hacking the universe, right? So when you get stuff like the Cipher Sword or whatever, the idea being is that those weapons or whatever, their powers are because the text, the language, the means to communicate and make your thoughts and ideas into reality is being inserted into the universe and thus expresses that power, right? It's kind of hard, right? Because we're thinking like sort of abstract terms of like codes and lines and words and things, but the way it interacts with us, we're like, oh, it's like, I don't know, you shooting a gun, right? You release like the gunpowder has a chemical reaction that does a thing, but the idea in Elden Ring and stuff is like with magic and what I'm talking about with the runes and stuff seems to be something more fundamental to the universe cosmologically is happening under the hood, and it just kind of looks like the same as when you shoot a gun. It releases this powerful beam or whatever, right? That's how I understand it. Alright, let's get ourselves set here. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Ah, there we go. Oh, no! I could have totally done it in one shot! My angle! Whee! Okay, I want to be next to that bush and that rock. Remember that, chat. Remember that, because I certainly won't. I'll immediately forget and proceed to do something stupid. Like the words of light, yeah. So in Aristotelian terms, runes are essence that define matter. Yeah, I agree. I think that's the best way to define it. I think they are the power. I think, actually, you know what? I think that's the exact way to do it. They are the power of definition. That is what I think runes are in essence. They are the power of defining. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna steal that. If I do cover Elden Ring, I will. That's how I will define. That's how I will define runes. They are the power of definition made manifest. Yeah, I like that. God, that was so. That's. Where are my runes? There we go. Alright. Oh no! It's even worse now! Yeah, that's... okay. That angle is so shitty. Okay, we have to go a little higher. What is Ronnie's fingers? It blew and it looks like it might have 3 fingers. I haven't seen Ronnie's fingers, so I have no idea. When I get to Ronnie's fingers, because I assume I'm going to be able to complete her quest, we shall do that. But I'm putting Ronnie on hold right now because I want to do the plateau and shit, so... Probably going to be here for a while. You gotta love how I'm so obsessed with trying to one-shot this boss with one spell, just to kind of prove my point. I do find it funny, though, that that's the way I'm having fun with these bosses in this game. I feel like something totally went wrong with the design of this game and bosses. That this is how I get my kicks. You done? You coming? Ah, there we go. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. There we go! And it worked! Woo! Lansax did! Woohoo! I did it, chat! I cheesed the boss! Woo! Let's see. Let's get back down here. Whoop. Oh. Whoop. And whoop. Sorry there, almost stepped on your head. There we go. That was close. That was Lou Reed. Also, welcome on in. Let's see. Maybe distract them with Ash, then blast them. No, I was able to make it work. Let's see. I think there are many Elden Rings in universes that I guess what we see in the Elden Beast cutscene with all the golden trees and each influence on its planet. Ooh, that'd be interesting, right? Are we alone, or are there a bunch of worlds the Greater Will has created, and these are just one of them? That's an interesting concept, isn't it, by itself? Are we alone? They're like Plato's forms. Kind of wish we had Vike as an actual character. Yeah, that's true. That would be cool if I haven't seen too much of Vike so far, so I don't know. But I guess what you're trying to say is that he basically is he's probably like an invasion or something, or a summon or something like that. Then again, not sure how that would work. I low-key want to okay, yeah, I'm right there. I low-key want a Genshiro style fight with Vike and the Tarnished, who aspires to be Elden Lord. That was close. Yeah, that was. And then again, I don't know how badly it would affect the story of the game if the game was more linear. I assume this is what you meant, Adolphus. Yeah. I don't know, I feel like Elden Ring's strength definitely is the open world and just being able to go anywhere and do stuff, but the problem with the balance for bosses is definitely an issue. Like Dark Souls 3, I wouldn't say it was completely linear, but it was linear enough where you definitely felt like the bosses were designed in a way in which you always felt like you were at the appropriate level for that boss. Elden Ring doesn't have that. You either feel like this boss is way too tough for you right now, so come back later, or like it's just like Raffle Stomp, okay. Or in my case, I just accidentally stumbled into a cheese strat. Like, you made Combat Azure and gave me infinite FP, and you expect me not to use it. Or maybe you do. Miyazaki's just like, hey, if you want to, why not? But it's like, this isn't how games should be made. Especially with your bosses that you're so famous for, especially after 3. Like, so many people played Dark Souls 3, and that was like their first Dark Souls game. It's probably some of the best bosses in the entire series. And it's like, then so many other people are getting Elden Ring, and it's just like, lol, bosses. That is ridiculous. It is, Arberg. It's absolutely hilarious. It's so stupid. I can't help it. It's my only way of having fun with this. I played with the beginner straight sword. It was horribly optimized. It was really fun. Yeah, I've been trying to deal with the bosses. I've been playing my Confessor where I can't go past like the 10s on any of the stats. So when I hit like 20 stats, I have to make sure I get like all the stats I want to level up to 20. Like I'm not going to do Arcane or something, but like all the stats I want to level, get them to 20, and then I'll let them all go up to 30, etc., etc., etc. And I've been doing that to kind of try to smooth out my level experience. It's like, it's not going. Even then, there's just so many times where I go against a boss, I'm just like, oh, like literally in this area full of high-ranking enemies, I go to this one catacomb, and it's got like a boss that dies in like 2 hits. It's like, I can't help that these bosses are so squishy. I honestly think the 3 fingers are a much bigger part of the story than we currently recognize. They remind me of Koth. I agree. I think the idea with the 3 fingers is it represents another outer god, right? In which case, I think the idea with that outer god, it has to be of chaos, right? And the idea is that the outer god thinks that the universe needs to go back into, it thinks the irony being is that the order of disparity is itself undesirable to it, because chaos and disorder wants everything to be uniform again. It wants everything to essentially become this giant melting pot where everything's the same, right? Like, that's the idea. That's an interesting concept in itself. But I agree. I definitely think 3 fingers needs to be thought of as definitely sort of the antithesis to the greater will. The outer god behind it, at least. And I think that's clear in the fact that it's 3 fingers versus 2, right? Oh, when did I be able to upgrade this? I don't recall. Oh, because I just got the thing from Radigan's church, right? Level up. The dexterity. Alright, let's go inside here. And I think we're going to call the stream today, chat. It's almost, yeah, it's been almost... I think it's almost been 3 hours. Oh, no, I don't think it's been 3 hours. I think it's been closer to, like, 2, right? I don't know. I'm not keeping track of time properly. Like, all my stats were spread out. It was disgusting. Yeah, same here. I tried my best to not, like, optimize my build for my Confessor into being like, okay, I'm going to go all in on the Faith, and then make sure all my miracles in my, or like faith and strength or something. Like, I tried to make it where I would limit myself, where I would hit roadblocks. Honestly, in retrospect, I think I should have had it where instead of it being every 10 levels, it should have been like every 5 levels. Like, I should have been, make it where it's like, okay, if I hit 15, I stopped there. Because even then, I feel like it was just, it's just, this game is, it's so hard to... Again, this is why the linear experiences with previous Souls games work a lot better as far as the balance experiences, because this is one of the weaknesses of Elden Ring. The world and the exploration and all that is so amazing and cool, but then you get to some of these bosses and the stuff that fills this world, and you're just like, it feels like filler. Okay. One of these. Could be a, I think they themselves were referenced as being a god. Could be a boss translation, I'm not entirely sure. I'll double check that for you, Adolphus, because I don't recall that ever I think it's probably outer god, maybe, but I don't know if, like, god. Probably outer god. I never stomped a main boss. That I definitely had that experience, where there was definitely a lot of the early bosses actually did feel like they were actually legitimate challenges on my Confessor with that. So I can confirm, that definitely sounds like what I had. There we go. Thanks for the awesome stream, bud. Help me stay awake doing boring work. I'm so happy to be able to help keep you guys entertained. It's been entertaining for me, too. Anyway, I think we're going to end these things here. Yeah, we're going to leave that for next time. Shadows bathe in light and no weakness. Wait. Did I read that right? Shadow bathes in light and knows weakness. Okay, it's not shadows, it's shadow. Okay. Alrighty, guys. We're going to be ending things here. It's been great having you all. Been wonderful having, like, just so much interaction in the chat that I'm actually scrolling through to keep up with you guys. Being able to see so many people coming in here after so long without streams. We'll be going back to the Dark Souls lore play tomorrow. So we're going to start on that again at the same usual time. So it'll be a bit about, like, 12 hours earlier from, more or less from when that is now. Again, if you guys can make it, good. If you can't, it's okay. There's always the VOD. I gotta actually edit the my last lore play video and get that cranked out for you guys. But anyway, they're so cool having you guys here. So wonderful. Anyway, gonna end things here. Bye-bye.